You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
Live from Worthen Arena, where the Ball State Cardinals play host to the Detroit Mercy Titans today in a battle of a MAC and Horizon team. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan for this fun night of action. And we're looking at a Detroit Mercy team, Sam, 2-2 on the season. Ball State 1-3. How excited are you?
I'm excited for this one. This should be a great one. I'm really looking forward to seeing this Detroit Mercy team really resurgence from last year. They had one of the worst seasons in NCAA history. There's no other way to put it. They went 1-31, which was the most losses in an NCAA season. So they've already doubled their win total from last season, which is not too hard to do considering last year's historic failure. But despite that, they've looked like a really competent basketball team this year. They look like a completely different basketball team with a lot of new talent, a whole new coach, and that new talent who with a head coach who has had some head coaching experience in the MAC has really translated well for this Horizon League team.
And that's a memory for Detroit Mercy fans everywhere, that 1-31 season that I'm sure they want to forget. But there was one fan, when they got their first win after 26 losses, it was a win against IUPUI, now IU Indy. One fan stormed the court. I'm sure that one fan is a very happy camper right now with their 2-2 start. But to further dive into that, what do you think went into Detroit Mercy's hot start to the season, if you want to call it that?
Well, honestly, they got a group of guys that are all from kind of the same area. You bring in a coach like Mark Montgomery, who has had that head coaching experience, and he's really rallied these guys together. Brought in a couple guys from Eastern Michigan and Lovejoy and Quach, and they've kind of really been table setters for this team. Obviously, you had a couple returners from last year in Mansell, who's been arguably their best player this season. But it's just been the impact of the new guys, the guys who have been returning, and just they've been able to mesh really well with their old talent and their new talent.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard to do when you only have 3 returning players from last year, for them to come in and start off 2-1 for one. But also, I mean, they played pretty tight with Toledo in their last game. They're only down by 1 at halftime, but just that second half was absolutely killer for the Titans. And that was kind of the same story for Ball State in their last matchup against Indiana State. Ball State still looking for their first win against a Division I opponent all season. Their first win came against Franklin College, a D3 school. Now, Sam, how can Ball State bounce back after what was just a really rough second half against Indiana State, where they were just letting them pull up threes all over the place?
Well, they just got to guard the perimeter like you mentioned, and especially with the Detroit Mercy, who loves the middle of the floor. They love their wing shots, and they love that middle shot. They don't really like going to the corner too often, so they're going to beat you through the middle of the paint, the middle of the court. So you got to learn how to defend that middle of the court and just leave the perimeter not open.
Yeah, easier said than done for sure. But these are two teams that, going back to that last matchup for both teams, it shows how important the first half is and getting off to a hot start. Obviously, you want to be on your A game in the second half, but both of these teams all season, they've had some of their best performances in the first half. And now enter Sandman plays over the loudspeakers. The Ball State Cardinals are coming out of the tunnel to a pretty packed house tonight. First 300 fans, or 300 students, I should say, get a free food voucher at the concession stand, all on Coach Michael Lewis. How incredible is that?
That's incredible, and I'd like to thank Coach Lewis because I got a hot dog because of that earlier.
I mean, you forgot your student ID, though. I had to help you out there.
It happens. It happens.
Hey, it happens to everyone. But, like, when they dim the lights and you know it's game time, that's the best feeling. But let's talk about two standout players for both teams. For Detroit Mercy, I want to talk about Mac Mansell, a guy averaging 16.5 points per game. Last year, he was on that 1-31 Titans team, and he only averaged about 5 points per game. He was more of a role player on that team. What do you think went into this new role for him?
I think the biggest thing for him was being 1 year older, a leader on this team. I mean, he's a redshirt senior. This is a team with a lot of freshmen, a lot of inexperienced guys, and he brings that experience. The other thing that he's really worked on the offseason was working on his outside range shots, that behind the arc shot, and it's been falling for him this year, shooting at a 40% rate at the moment. So that's been the biggest key for him, and it's been the biggest key as to why the Titans team is 2-2.
Yeah, and that's very important to note because we were just talking about it probably 30 seconds ago about how Ball State struggled at defending the three against Indiana State. And Indiana State, they were a team that could shoot the lights out, and that's exactly what they did in the second half. And you know that Detroit Mercy can do the same thing, not only with Mansell, but also Emmanuel Quach, who is shooting 57% from three. And that's not a lack of shot attempts at all. He hit 3 3-pointers in their last game against Toledo on 4 attempts.
And going back on Mansell, he had his career high of 30 points a few games ago against Niagara. That just shows when he gets hot, they put the ball in his hands, and he really doesn't miss. A 30-point performance in college is a really tough feat to eclipse, and for him to do that in the opening stages of the season, that's incredible stuff and is a huge table setter for the Titans.
And here's what I appreciate about Mark Montgomery. You've got a head coach. You got two great ball handlers in Orlando Lovejoy, the Eastern Michigan transfer, and Mark Mansell. And what you get with both of them is the power of versatility. And then you also got a guy like Jared Larry who can command the second unit. So who do you expect to get most of the primary reps with Detroit Mercy of when it comes to being the primary ball handler?
I mean, I expect it to be Lovejoy. It's kind of been his role all season long, and I expect him to continue in that role. While Mansell has been the shooter for the squad, Lovejoy has really been the facilitator for that offense, and I expect him to continue to be in that role as he leads the team in assists.
And now going on over to Ball State, and one player that I'm sure not many people had it tallied up of who would be the points per game leader for this Ball State team. It's been Jamari Fat Hill, averaging 17.5 points per game. He comes from South Plains JUCO College, led them to a very impressive 32-3 record last year. They made the Elite Eight of the National JUCO College Association Division I tournament. Just what has gone into Fat Hill having this breakout season?
Well, there's been a lot of things that have gone into Fat Hill's tremendous season. I mean, coming out of a junior college program that went to an Elite Eight, one of the best programs in the country, that was huge for him. Another thing for him, he's got one of his own, Justin Brown. He was a coach at South Plains Community College before coming here to Ball State, who's now a Ball State assistant. So he got to coach with Hill, brings that familiarity and experience with him, and I'm very excited to see that connection once again play through tonight.
And that's the cool thing about Fat Hill that you see is he's not a guy that'll shoot the three quite often, which is odd to see in this modern day of guards. He's a guy that will beat you by slashing his way to the cup. And that's going to take us to the commercial break. We'll be right back for the opening tip-off in just a few moments. You are listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptonin.com. At munciesuites.hamptonin.com.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards and everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
So just
We are live from Worthen Arena. It is tip-off time here in Muncie, Indiana. And Sam, let's talk about the starting lineup for both teams. For Ball State, an unexpected change. You got the usual four out there: Jamari Fat Hill, Ethan Britton Watts, Mickey Pearson, Peyton Sparks. But making his first start as a Cardinal, Joey Hart, the transfer from Kentucky.
A big surprise here. Coach Lewis decided to go with the small ball lineup, facing a Detroit Mercy team that is a smaller squad. We were talking in the pregame, who would be able to guard Peyton Sparks? I think Lewis is kind of corresponding with their smaller lineup by having a bit of a smaller lineup of their own. So where I thought maybe Jeremiah Hernandez would get the start tonight and maybe have a little bit of an overtowering presence on this Detroit Mercy team, instead goes to Joey Hart, who's looking to spark a three-point game for the Cardinals team that has been horrific this season.
Here we go, Okoro and Sparks to tip it off.
Cardinals team that has only shot 30% from three.
And we are underway. Ball State wins the tip. They move left to right. Ethan Britton Watts takes it up. The Ball State Cardinals in their white uniforms with the red lettering. Detroit Mercy, their blue uniforms with their red lettering. Peyton Sparks down low, has to save it from the baseline. And there he is, Joey Hart with the save. Now Jamari Fat Hill on the left wing. They move to Hart, bounces inside to Sparks, in a bit of trouble. They swing out the Hill, spins his way inside, wide open Britton Watts, corner three, rims out Sparks, collects the miss, and he gets hacked hard by Okoro. It'll be 2 free throws for Peyton Sparks. He is shooting 61% from the free throw line this year.
And Roen, that is what Peyton Sparks needs to do. He's been such a facilitator on the offensive end. He's been really doing something that hasn't been his strength and has been passing the ball. But the Cardinals really need him to start scoring, and right there, starting to get himself involved in the offense early on.
Peyton Sparks all net with the first free throw. An early 1-0 Cardinals lead, 19:28 left. And that's absolutely right. We were talking about that in the pregame, that fearlessness that makes Peyton Sparks so good. Second free throw is up, and it's short, collected by Quach. And now Detroit Mercy moving right to left. They get their first possession of the game. They move quickly on the perimeter. Quach almost loses control, but he has a wide open three on the far side that goes off the back iron and collected on the long rebound by Orlando Lovejoy, who takes it up.
A rare corner three from the Titans right there, and could not get it to fall right there, but they get the offensive board and look to facilitate their offense once more.
Now Mansell with the right hand on the right block, a jumper inside the perimeter, off the mark, collected by Hill. Fat Hill with the left hand, he's at the top of the key. Britton Watts, he had a three-point attempt earlier. It was collected by Sparks off of the miss. Sparks has it on the high block. A screen off to Hill. Hill, a three-point attempt. It's an air ball, goes too long, but Sparks with the long rebound, still fighting for it on the baseline. The question is, who's going to get it off of the jump ball?
Looks like the Titans had the arrow right now, but there was a foul called on the floor, and I think it'll stay with the Cardinals after a Detroit Mercy foul, and that is already their second team foul early on here, only 80 seconds in.
Yeah, foul trouble. That is something you do not want to get in, especially when you're going up against a guy like Peyton Sparks down low. You got to get everything you can got, especially with Stephen Okoro, the true freshman, guarding him. Top of the key, they reset with Mickey Pearson. They bounce inside. And it's an offensive foul on the Cardinals. It'll go the other way to the Titans. 18:32 left in the first half, a 1-0 Ball State advantage.
So I was not a huge fan of that shot from Fat Hill to start off, as Mercy moves up the court fairly quickly. Cardinals team that's really struggled beyond the arc.
Lovejoy pushes inside off of a pick. Quach thought about another three. He instead pump fakes and drives inside. Mac Mansell with the left hand. He squanders, and then he drives inside underhand. A rejection from Fat Hill. Goes out of bounds on the baseline. Great defense from Jamari Fat Hill.
Yeah, one of the more underrated aspects of his game. He's known for more getting his hands in there and getting some steals, but rare for him to get a block, but a nice defensive effort right there. Stayed with them the whole play in Mansell, and that's Mansell who's got a little bit of a height advantage on Hill, but nonetheless, great play from Jamari Fat Hill to keep the defensive drive going.
And already a change for Ball State. Ben Hendricks checks in for Peyton Sparks after Sparks looked really good in the first 2 minutes. Maybe it's just fatigue for Sparks. Hadn't committed a foul yet. Mac Mansell, left wing three, lets it fly, rims out. Okoro cleans up the mess. Quach on the near side. He stepped out of bounds on the near side. It'll go the other way.
Now for the Cardinals here, you don't need to chuck up a three, as Peyton Sparks checks right back in there. I don't know if they didn't want him to get a defensive foul on a rebound or what exactly it was, but Sparks just a quick check in and check out.
Yeah, he didn't even have enough time to catch his breath. Ethan Britton Watts, the graduate student, comes from Indiana. He takes it up. Peyton Sparks to hand off the Hill inside, loses control. Mansell picks his pocket. Falling down, Okoro with the turnover. Right to left, Detroit Mercy moves. Nate Johnson, the true freshman, on the left block, lays it up and in. Goes out of bounds off of the miss on the back iron, off of the hand of Peyton Sparks. And so far, I mean, look at that. Ben Hendricks checking right back in for Peyton Sparks.
So this is interesting here. I don't know if they want Hendricks out there on the defensive end. But an interesting approach here from Michael Lewis to start off, and we'll see how this plays off with Hendricks, who has been a massive shot blocker early on in the year.
Lovejoy, mid-range jumper, rims out, gets his own rebound, middle of the lane, gets it through. Orlando Lovejoy, the first field goal of the game. 2-1 Titans lead, 7:24 left in the first half. Bounce pass to Hendricks, who has his first offensive possession with Ball State on the day. Fat Hill drives in with the left hand on the left block. He got double teamed and hacked hard. And Fat Hill will get 2 free throws for Ball State, looking to take the lead with 17-14 left in the first half.
And that's exactly what the Cardinals wanted. Fat Hill, who is a 81% free throw shooter, you're going to get him to the line for 2, hopefully get them the lead right back. But that is Fat Hill's strength. He loves driving to the basket, and he's a tough finisher. And when you get him in that position, especially against a smaller guard, more often than not, he'll hit the shot or at least draw the foul.
Fat Hill at the free throw line, his 3rd team in 3 years, kind of overlooked coming out of high school, or underlooked, I should say, as he misses the first free throw. Some changes for Detroit Mercy. Jared Larry and Ryan Colombe come in for Stephen Okoro and Mac Mansell.
Okoro's already had 2 fouls, and that's one of their better players. And to have him in this deep of foul trouble, not even 3 minutes in, that is a troubling sign for Detroit Mercy, and we'll see who has to fill his void coming up.
And Hill gets the 2nd one to fall. We're all knotted up at 2, but just his journey, kind of underlooked in high school, 3rd team in 3 years, his first Division I opportunity. Fat Hill making the most of it as Britton Watts pokes away a pass from Lovejoy, but he gets it right back on the left wing. Left arc, he works. Has Britton Watts stumbling, behind the back jam from Emmanuel Quach, middle of the lane, 4-2 Titans.
Oh, what a gorgeous move, had him touching earth, and another bucket for the Titans, and they're back up 4-2.
Mickey Pearson, a tough take, middle of the lane, banks it right through. What a response for the Cardinals, 4-4, we're knotted up. Lovejoy moves quickly on the left block, he banks it in himself. 4 points for Orlando Lovejoy. He has both field goals, or I should say 2 of 3 field goals for Detroit Mercy, and he looks like he's in pain holding that arm that he went down hard on.
There's no one there for the inbound, so it took a while for the Cardinals to finally take that ball out, but what a fast pace we're rolling at here in Detroit Mercy, here at 6-2.
Ben Hendricks, top of the key, the handoff to Pearson. Joey Hart.
Correction, 6-4. The scoreboard here at Worthen Arena is often to not get the Pearson bucket.
Ethan Britton Watts on the left. Now Joey Hart, top of the key 3, rims out, and that's one of the things you like to see from Joey Hart as Hendricks is unable to get the offensive board off of Ryan Colombe. Joey Hart, you expect to see that 3-point shooting ability. He was originally committed to UCF coming out of high school. Decommits, goes to Kentucky. Didn't get much of an opportunity there, averaged 3 minutes a game, and transfers to Ball State. Lovejoy drives in on the right side with his right hand. Colombe, a jumper middle of the lane, rims out. And you know, Ryan Colombe, despite the height, he can definitely hit those deeper shots.
Yeah, and he's already proven it in this game. He's looking to do it again.
Mickey Pearson thought about a corner 3 on the near side, but he instead resets at the top of the key with Hill. Britton Watts at an angle, drives and pushes, misses a jumper at the free throw line. 6-4, Detroit Mercy leads over Ball State. 15 minutes and some change left in the first half. The Titans move right to left. And at the scorer's table, Peyton Sparks looking to come right back in for Ball State. Lovejoy, a dribble move. He already's at 4 points today. No one even guards him. Wide open shot, all net for Orlando Lovejoy to make it an 8-4 Titans lead.
Well, he had the mismatch of Ben Hendricks on him, and he thought he was going to get the switch with Britton Watts, and Britton Watts did not get the message of a switch, and by the time they realized it, it was an open shot for Lovejoy and an easy bucket.
Fat Hill, jumper inside the perimeter, goes off the front of the rim. Still no points for Fat Hill in this contest other than the 1 point he got off of the free throw.
There's a bit of a shooter's roll on that one.
Top of the key, it's Quach. He feeds inside to Colombe, and he gets fouled by Ben Hendricks. And that takes us to a timeout. Detroit Mercy having their way early. They lead 8-4 over the Ball State Cardinals with 14:22 left in the first half. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back to Worthen Arena. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. The Ball State Cardinals hosting the Detroit Mercy Titans. 14:22 left in the first half. Detroit Mercy holds an early 8-4 lead. And really, the guy doing most of the work for the Titans has been Orlando Lovejoy with 6 points. So far, how can Ball State just stop Lovejoy?
I mean, they've just been giving them easy open mid-range shots. They've just been losing. As you've mentioned before, they love running a lot of pick and pop at the top of the key, and that has led to a lot of open shots on the mid-range just because a lot of mismatch, a lot of screens forces a lot of different guys having to defend different guys, and by the time you look up, you have your center guarding a point guard, and that's a mismatch. He forces himself to get an easy open shot and an easy bucket, and as it shows, he's got 6 points early on.
Yeah, you saw there were times where Ben Hendricks would be guarding Lovejoy, and that's just not what you want if you're a Ball State fan. Not necessarily with the height, but just the speed advantage. Orlando Lovejoy, no matter who's on the floor, he will be the fastest player out there.
And the other killer, we've mentioned that Detroit Mercy is a great rebounding team. They out-rebound their opponents by over 15 rebounds a game. They have 5 offensive rebounds right now and 9 total, and we're only 6 minutes in.
The inbound, Mac Mansell checks back into the game. Fade away in the middle of the lane. Gets it to fall over Mickey Pearson. Now it's 10-4 Detroit Mercy advantage. And into Ball State, into the game for them, it's the freshman sensation TJ Birch, averaging 10 points per game. Had a breakout game against Indiana State. They feed down low to Sparks. He gets rejected by Colombe, out of bounds on the baseline.
The 6'9" forward out of Canada. Big play from him to reject Sparks, and Sparks just trying to create a spark for the Cardinals and unable to do so. Also in for the Cardinals, Jeremiah Hernandez, and now Mason Jones.
With Hernandez, he started a couple of games for Ball State, and we've seen Michael Lewis, as there was a foul called. Ball State resets at the baseline on the inbound. It'll be Birch. We've seen a lot of changes with the starting lineup. Joey Hart making his first career start was something not a lot of people expected. Legend Jeter checks in for Ryan Colombe for Detroit Mercy. Ball State inbounds. Hernandez angles with the right hand. Tough take, draws a foul on the freshman Miles Mitchell. Jeremiah Hernandez will get 2 free throws for Ball State.
And it seemed like all the points for the Cardinals are coming at the free throw line. Now they have their bigger lineup up. You mentioned Joey Hart getting to start. They brought out a small ball lineup to start the game, and it was just Detroit Mercy who was constantly out-rebounding them and just beating them on the board. So had to make a change and bringing in a bigger lineup. You got Jones, you got Hernandez, you got Sparks all out there, with the backcourt being of your best 2, arguably, guards in Birch and Hill. It's probably your best lineup you're going to have out all year for the Cardinals right now, and they're trying to get back in this ballgame.
Hernandez goes 2 for 2 from the line. The transfer from the University of Southern Indiana, he set a USI record in a game, going 16 for 16 from the free throw line. That is what Ball State wants and needs. This year, shooting 71% from the charity stripe. Mac Mansell, top of the key. Offensive foul and illegal screen goes on Legend Jeter as Mac Mansell was working off of the screen. The current score 10-6, Detroit Mercy out in front with 13:31 left in the first half.
And that last foul puts the Cardinals in the bonus already. So next pair of fouls gets the Cardinals right back to the line. You mentioned with Hernandez being out there, 16 for 16 at the charity stripe in one game, and one of the better free throw shooters in the country last year at USI, looking to get him right back to the line.
TJ Birch lobs inside the Sparks, but it's intercepted by Mansell. He works quickly with his left hand. They go back to the top of the key with Jared Larry, the transfer from Aquinas, who averaged 12 points per game last season. He drives in right hand, the feed to Mitchell underneath, got it off the glass and one. The true freshman Miles Mitchell, and only his second career collegiate game has the opportunity for a three-point play. The Titans doubling up on the Cardinals right now with a 12-6 lead.
And that play was all because of the redshirt freshman in Jared Larry. A beautiful pass right there. Got the cutting man at the perfect time in Mitchell, and the freshman tries to make a three-point play but is unable to do so.
Yep. The free throw is off the back iron. 12-6 our score. Ball State moves left to right. Fat Hill yet to have a field goal in this game. He has 1 point, and it came from a free throw. He's 1 of 2 from the line. TJ Birch has it on the left wing. He swings around to Hernandez, who tries to angle his way inside. TJ Nadeau, the true freshman for the Titans, playing really tight, suffocating defense. Hill tried to drive inside, poked away by Jeter. Lob up to Mitchell inside. Mason Jones with the takeaway, blocking it away. Great defensive effort.
Really tough defense there from Jones. Now the Cardinals trying to get it quickly going on the offensive end.
Birch Daub at 3. Hernandez, 3 ball on the near side, goes way too long. And a foul called on the floor. It'll stay here. Looks like it'll be going on Mitchell. He got a little too handsy working on Peyton Sparks.
So we've mentioned that three-point shooting for the Cardinals has been a glaring weakness for them this season. They're shooting under 30% from behind the three-point arc. And with the evolution of basketball nowadays, the three-point shot is more important now than ever. And I was just about to ask, when are we going to see Gorosito, who's arguably the best three-point shooter on this team? And as I say that, checks in for the Cardinals, who are in dire need of a three-point spark.
And speaking of a spark, guess who's at the free throw line? Peyton Sparks.
Some people forget that Peyton Sparks was a 75% free throw shooter in his freshman year, a guy who was a preseason All-MAC candidate, and now he's trying to turn it around, shooting a 1-and-1.
Yep, 1-and-1 misses. He's now 1 for 3 from the free throw line today. Juancy Gorosito checks into the game for Ball State, a 36% free throw shooter, transfer from Portland, expected to provide a spark for Ball State, which he definitely did in the second half of the Indiana State game. Colombe works on the baseline under the basket. Sparks working him to no avail, and Peyton Sparks forces a travel on Ryan Colombe. That's the tight, suffocating defense that Peyton Sparks provides.
And the biggest thing with Gorosito, he took 242 shots last year with Portland. 197 of them were three-point shots. So if he gets himself a little bit of space, you know he's going to take it. He thought he had some space, but instead does not get the pass, and Birch is just rolling it around.
If the Argentina native, he has it on the left wing. He pump fakes and drives inside, skips it on down low to Sparks. He has it again. They skip it around to Hernandez. Down low, Mason Jones tries to work on Nadeau. Far corner 3, wide open. Gorosito lets it fly off the mark. Sparks cleans up the mess, backs down. Birch, top of the key. Back iron 3. Misses there. Still a 12-6 ball game. Detroit Mercy out in front. And, oh no, Mac Mansell holding the leg, a stoppage in play. And
couple injuries. Lovejoy's hurt too.
Yeah, and it looks like Lovejoy, he's just holding his mouth. And oh no, Mansell broke his leg. He's not, Lovejoy's not injured. He is just in shock. Yeah, Mansell, it looks like, yeah, his ankle just dislocated, and he's getting carried back to the locker room. That's awful. That's awful.
Yeah, you saw the reaction from Lovejoy right away. I thought he was hurt. Oh my goodness, Roen, that is definitely the most gruesome injury I have seen in person, and as gruesome of an injury as you're going to see, he's on the stretcher, and hope that he's okay and he's in our prayers.
I mean that just sucks the life out of an arena, and you have to feel for the guy. Mac Mansell, going into this game, averaging 16.5 points per game, close to 5 rebounds. Mansell has been the guy for Detroit Mercy in an unexpected breakout season, and he's being carted off. That's just awful to see. Okay, he started his collegiate career at Henry Ford College. He transferred to Arkansas State. He had a major injury at Arkansas State that forced him to redshirt, and now he gets carted off. That's just the last thing you want to see, as right now Detroit Mercy leads 12-6 over Ball State.
Yeah, it's absolutely, like you mentioned, just takes the life out of a place, and just an absolutely gruesome injury here at Worthen Arena, and just a terrible scene, not only for the Detroit Mercy program, but everyone here who's involved. You saw the reaction from Lovejoy, and that kind of just told just everything about how significant of an injury that was. You saw their head coach and Mark Montgomery walk right onto the court immediately while the play was still going on. He recognized that injury, wanted play to be stopped right away, and thankfully so that it was. And now, obviously, the main concern turns to Mansell as he was carted off and was taken off in a stretcher.
The people I feel for a lot too are his fellow Titan teammates who. Now you're in a situation, you witness something like that. How do you keep going forward?
I mean, I think that's what Mark Montgomery's trying to tell his guys right now during this extended break. He's trying to just, try to get their heads focused after, a really gruesome injury that happened right in front of their sideline. And now after losing one of their better scorers, they got to find an answer.
And this is a game I was really looking forward to watching Mac Mansell. And the reason being, his father, Mike, played at Central Michigan, and he's got the Mac kind of in his veins. So I thought maybe there was something in there. But now we resume play. Detroit Mercy has possession moving right to left. 11:20 left in the first half. The Titans lead 12-6. Right wing, Colombe fakes a three. Nadu, the true freshman, drives in, goes to another true freshman in Nate Johnson. They reset at the top of the key, a screen on the right side for Lovejoy, who's at 6 points. A fadeaway jumper goes off the back iron. Sparks climbs the ladder to get a hold of that board.
And he jumped up there to get that one and wanted to make sure no one else even had a chance at it.
TJ Birch off of the pick, tries to feed inside the Sparks middle of the lane, but the ball gets juggled away. They say out of bounds, it'll stay here with the Cardinals. And a substitution made for Ball State. Ethan Britton-Watts comes in for TJ Birch.
Birch has had a couple of turnovers and a couple near turnovers in this ball game. Has not had his best display of passing, and as a result, Coach Lewis is going to go to one of his better passers, Ethan Britton-Watts, to try and facilitate the floor for the rest of this half, or at least for the next few minutes.
And the first time that we've seen him in quite a bit for Detroit Mercy, Grant Gondrzik checks in. Hernandez in a bit of trouble. He's guarded by Colombe. Peyton Sparks on the right wing, drives in with his left hand. Left wing, Gorosito lets a three fly, and it's money! Juancy Gorosito cuts the Titans' lead down to 3.
Only took 9.5 minutes, but the Cardinals get their first three-pointer, and a huge one at that from Gorosito, and that's why he was brought in to bring in that spark plug from beyond the arc.
12-9 our score, 10 minutes and some change left. And a miscommunication leads to Hernandez intercepting the pass. Jones, fast break on the right block, banks it through with the finger roll. Ball State cuts it down to 1, 12-11.
Really nice move from Mason Jones, who has some big-time family ties in the sports world. Currently, his brother's playing football at IU, and what a season the Hoosiers are having.
I mean, talk about a heck of a team to play for right now. Lovejoy drives in with the right hand on the low block. Spin move on Britton-Watts. He's in trouble, has to go back out to the top of the key to Quach. Emmanuel Quach, 1 3-point attempt on the day, but he drives in with the right hand and banks it through over Sparks to give the Titans a 14-11 lead with under 10 minutes to play. And I say the whole three-pointer thing mainly because Emmanuel Quach, a 57% three-point shooter going into this game. Gorosito, who had a three-pointer earlier in the game for Ball State, has it. Now Hernandez works off of a screen on the perimeter. Jones, corner three-pointer, lets it fly. It's too long. Nate Johnson takes it the other way for the Titans, right to left. And he moves quickly, middle of the lane, a floater off the mark, and Peyton Sparks looked like little to no effort just corralling in that board. He makes it look so easy. Gorosito, middle of the lane, off of a screen. Britton-Watts, three-pointer on the far end from the corner, goes off of the back iron.
Yeah, and Britton-Watts just hesitated a bit on that one. I think if he just catches it and shoots it, that one may have gone down, but instead just trying to hesitate a little bit and results in the miss and going right back to Detroit Mercy on the other end.
Now Quach has it on the near side corner. Gondrzik moves inside the Colombe. Colombe on Sparks on the left block. He gets tripped up. It'll be a foul on Peyton Sparks. Sparks' second foul of the ball game. And that's been, I was going to say, 8:33 left in this first half. That was kind of a great trait for Peyton in this game, that he stayed out of foul trouble, but he just picked up his second foul. And in comes Ben Hendricks, Jamari Hill, and Mickey Pearson for Ball State. And Jared Larry back into the game for Detroit Mercy.
So we got Gorsido and Gondrzik, and what a story Gondrzik has, his sister in the WNBA.
And there's the three-pointer I was talking about on the left wing for Emmanuel Quach. All net on that one. 17-11, the Titans lead in the first half, and 8:20 left in this first half.
Quick catch and shoot on a fairly deep three-pointer. He feels comfortable with that shot, and he hit it. Lead extended back up to 6. They're getting the ball right back.
Yep, an illegal screen as Britton Watts tried to work off a pick from Ben Hendricks. So now Detroit Mercy, they're in a very positive trend right now as they get the ball back with the opportunity to make this a 3-possession game.
Yeah, 17-11 right now with 8:10 to play, and right now they really are trying to run away with this one early on, but are unable to do so.
Yep, Hill, the takeaway, intercepts the pass. He's double-teamed on a tough take, gets it ripped out by Jared Larry. Larry goes coast to coast. He's double-teamed by Hill and Gorsido. Quach was open in the corner. He's frustrated he didn't get it, but he gets it on the left wing. Lets a three fly and banks it in off of the glass. Second three-pointer for Emmanuel Quach, the transfer from New Mexico. 20-11.
Less than a minute for Quach, and he's starting to feel himself right now, and that is the scariest thing because Quach is such an electrifying three-point shooter that once he gets in a rhythm, it's over.
And a miscommunication. Britton Watts trying to find Gorsido. The pass goes long on the far side, out of bounds, and Michael Lewis has seen enough. He wants a timeout. 7 minutes, 33 seconds left in the first half. Detroit Mercy with a 20-11 lead over Ball State. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. You are listening to Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
Welcome back, folks, from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trailing to Detroit Mercy 20-11, 7:33 left in the first half. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by my partner, Sam Egan. And what a game this has been from start to beginning. And for Detroit Mercy, you can attribute a lot of that to Emmanuel Quach. 2 3-pointers in the last minute, puts his total up to 10. And amongst both teams, he's the only player in double digits on the floor right now.
Yeah, and I think this is a huge kudos to Mark Montgomery because they started this game controlling the game on the offensive rebounds. They got 5 offensive rebounds in the first 3 minutes, and they haven't gotten an offensive rebound since. But they have found different strengths in their offense, and that's come off the arms of Quach, nailing a couple of big-time threes, but they've also been locked down defensively. The Cardinals only have 11 points here, and we're about to approach the 7-minute mark. That is not a feat that you want to be seeing for a Cardinals team that had 84 points in their last ball game.
And I do want to give credit to this Detroit Mercy team. With all they're going through right now, they had their best scorer, arguably their best player, in Mac Mansell go down with a pretty nasty ankle injury. Had to be stretchered off the court. You hate to see that. But the way they've rallied ever since then, I commend that. What a great performance from this Titans team.
And kudos to Mark Montgomery for getting his squad locked back in and ready to be focused for a game that they so desperately want. They'd love to be over 500 to start the year after what was a disastrous season last year. And Montgomery went 124 and 170 in his coaching career over the course of 10 years at Northern Illinois. However, he's their third winningest coach in program history, so he kind of turned the table a bit at that program.
Jared Larry gets it started for Detroit Mercy. A spin move on the low block. Hill will not let him through. He has to go all the way back out to half court to Emmanuel Quach, who's guarded by Pearson. Between the legs, step back 3, air ball. Colombe tries to save, but it's just a little bit too late on that baseline. Ball State gets possession with 7:09 left in the first half. Yeah, Mark Montgomery, the resume, it's incredible. The last 3 years, I'm sure he learned a thing or two working at his alma mater, Michigan State, under Tom Izzo.
That was going to be my next point. The matchup of protege coaches, obviously him being under the tree of Mike Izzo.
And Gorosito, long three! Watsy Gorosito from a different area code, 20-14.
It's going to be him being off the tree of Tom Izzo, and then obviously Michael Lewis being off the coach of Bobby Knight.
And a floater from Larry ricochets off of the rim. Ball State moves fast. Pearson thought about a three. Hill thought about a three at the top of the key. They swing it around to Gorosito on the far side. A screen comes from Hendricks at the top of the key. Hill, he unloads from downtown. Goes in and out. Jamari Hill up to 10 three-pointer attempts on the season. We talked about that in the pregame show. You just don't see that for many guards. Wide open underneath the basket. Floats up and in for Ryan Colombe, the true freshman. And another timeout called as Detroit Mercy holds a 22-14 lead over Ball State with 6:15 left in the first half. And right now, at least from my vantage point, it seems like Detroit Mercy is just absolutely controlling the pace. How can Ball State, I'm not going to say get back into this ball game, it's still an 8-point game, but how can they strike back?
They have to play the entire court. They've been trying to set up Peyton Sparks a little bit too much in the paint. It's either been an outside shot or going inside to Peyton Sparks, and hasn't really been much of a mid-range game for the Ball State Cardinals, and I feel like that is where Jamari Hill can really excel, and if they can get him to start shooting inside the arc as opposed to outside, I think that's the biggest key for Ball State right now, is to get their shooters going.
Yeah, and you definitely see that with Watsy Gorosito. 6 points already in this game, both of them coming off of three-pointers. Are you really surprised? You saw the deep three right there. That was almost at, if you could picture Worthen Arena, almost at the Cardinal beak. That's how deep that three was. And now Ethan Britton-Watts takes it up for Ball State. They move left to right. 6:08 left in this contest, or in the first half, I should say. 22-14, Detroit Mercy leads. Sparks double-teamed on the low block. Whistle blown. The question is, will the foul go on Colombe or Mitchell? Looks like it's going on Ryan Colombe, his second foul of the contest, and Peyton Sparks goes back to the free throw line. He's 1 for 3 today from the charity stripe, and coming back in for the first time, a starter, Stephen Okoro. We saw this in the Toledo game where there'd be times where he would be out of the game for quite some time. He started the game, had 2 fouls, and now Mark Montgomery finally lets the true freshman Okoro back into the contest.
Yeah, like I said, let's not forget he's got 2 fouls relatively quickly inside the first 4 minutes of this ball game, so he had to check himself out for a little bit, so he didn't take himself out of the ball game fairly quickly. So right now he's checking back in with 6 minutes left, and he cannot draw any fouls. It's a team that's already in deep foul trouble, and they do not want to dig themselves an even deeper hole for the second half. After already losing Mansell, you have another starter in Okoro who is in deep foul trouble, and you don't want to get him in even deeper foul trouble. So they wait till now to put him in, and now they hope that he can just keep himself out of trouble.
Peyton Sparks, free throw attempt, rims out on the 1-of-1. Okoro corrals in the miss. 22-14, the Titans lead. Sparks now 1 for 4 from the line. TJ Nadeau on the left wing. He goes back out to Jared Larry. They swing it around to Lovejoy, who tries to drive in with the right hand on the baseline. Backs his way in. Okoro thought about a jumper at the free throw line. They instead work around. Larry inside the perimeter, jumper, long rebound. Gorosito gets it off of the back iron. 1-on-1, him and Larry, spin move. Watsy Gorosito spins his way to the rack.
In a spin cycle, what a Gorosito right there, and just putting the moves on the Titans.
22-16 our score. After that Gorosito fast break and score under about 5 minutes to play in the first half. Ball State's still in a bit of a hole. TJ Nadeau, the freshman, his first shot attempt inside the perimeter, gets it to fall off of the glass and one. So TJ Nadeau with the opportunity for a 3-point play.
Yeah, a rare foul on a shot attempt like that, but Gorosito just got caught a little bit off balance and was trying to get back on time on defense and maybe block that shot. Unfortunately for him, got there a little bit too late. Nadeau hit the shot and drew the foul.
And some changes for Ball State. Joey Hart comes in for Watsy Gorosito, and then you also see Nate Johnson coming in for Detroit Mercy. So now TJ Nadeau looking to complete the 3-point play.
it's only the second pair of free throws, second free throw on the night for the Titans. They've missed them both.
Yeah, and yeah, he misses that one. Nadu was going into this game a 100% free throw shooter. Not anymore, unfortunately. 24-16, Titans lead over Ball State, under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Yeah, I didn't want to give you a chance to jinx them.
Like you did a couple weeks back. I remember. Bounces inside the Sparks. He draws a double team. Hearts wide open. Hernandez, middle of the lane, puts up a tough take, and he's hacked by Johnson. Jeremiah Hernandez, who's 2 for 2 from the charity stripe today, has another opportunity with 2 free throws here.
Yeah, I want a shooting foul, so it will be 2 free throws here, and that's foul number 9. So the next foul will put the Cardinals in the double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 the rest of the half. But one thing I'm really wanting to highlight right now, the Cardinals are shooting 5 for 17 right now. That's 29%. Even worse from beyond the arc, only 2 for 11 shooting at 18%, and those only 2 threes are coming from Gorosito.
Hernandez gets the first one to fall, and in comes Ben Hendricks for Peyton Sparks.
Cardinals are shooting 50% at the line just before that shot, now making it 5 for 9 for Hernandez, looking to make it 7 of 10 and put him at 70%.
And most of those attempts have come from Peyton Sparks, who's 1 for 4. He heads to the bench, and Hernandez goes 2 for 2.
So Hernandez 4 for 4 for the line. The rest of the team 1 for 5. That's highlighted by Peyton Sparks 1 for 4.
So now 24-18 our score. Detroit Mercy over Ball State, under 5 minutes to play. Lovejoy spins his way out of trouble on the low block. Nate Johnson drives in at an angle. Okoro floats it up, and it's short. Miles Mitchell tried to collect the miss. Mickey Pearson saves it before he's pushed down. So Ball State has it going the other way. And
more foul trouble for Mitchell. That's his second foul of the ball game. So they're bigger defenders in Okoro and Mitchell. They're really drawing themselves in the foul trouble because of the big presence of Hendricks and of Sparks, and now of Pearson as well, really getting himself involved in the rebounding game.
And you mentioned that double bonus. Mickey Pearson goes to the free throw line for Ball State. Mickey Pearson, 3rd in the MAC last year in free throw percentage, gets his first free throw to fall. It's now a 5-point ball game.
So you bring in Jeremiah Hernandez mixed in with Mickey Pearson, who's one of the best free throw shooters in the MAC and the best returning free throw shooter in the MAC. So you thought free throw shooting wouldn't be a weakness for the Cardinals, but unfortunately to start off this season, it's been one of their bigger issues, and right now it's proving evident on the scoreboard.
Mickey Pearson goes 2 for 2 from the line. 24-20 the score. Detroit Mercy moves right to left. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. TJ Nadu on the left wing goes back to the top of the key to Okoro. You see right now 3 of the 5 players on the court for the Titans are freshmen. A jumper from Lovejoy rims out. Pearson tries to go hard the other way. Quach tried to pick his pocket. He instead fouls him hard.
3 straight possessions for a foul that end up with a foul for Detroit Mercy, and fairly quickly before the Cardinals can even get their offense going. And this is something that Detroit Mercy is the last thing they could have used, because they have really been great defensively with the exception of fouling. They have really just limited the Cardinals just in any attempt on the field, and the Cardinals have been only really getting points at the free throw line, and once again, they're getting an opportunity at free points.
Now Mickey Pearson gets shot 1 to fall. Now it's a 1-possession ball game. Mickey Pearson 3 for 3 from the line. 4:04 left in this first half. Mickey Pearson trying to make it a 2-point game. And he does it right there. Ball State clawing their way back into this contest.
Ball State already 12 free throws attempted, 10 of 12 from the line. It's almost half their points that have come from the charity stripe.
Yeah, you see Hernandez and Pearson getting those looks, and that's so important. And now Nate Johnson on the right wing works for the Titans. He works on the baseline now, out top of the key. Quach pump fakes, drives inside, right block. Tough takeover, Hendricks rims out. Nadu, the long rebound. Shot clock now to 20. Fadeaway is short. Ethan Britton Watts takes it the other way for Ball State. Goes coast to coast. Pearson thought about a long 3, but he travels as he pump faked. 24-22 the score right now. Detroit Mercy leads over Ball State. 3 minutes and 31 seconds remain in the first half.
Yeah, both teams trying to work quickly, but with the foul trouble of Detroit Mercy, they're not able to play at their pace, and as a result, Ball State's clawed their way back in, and all of a sudden, it's a 2-point game. Going back to that last possession, Okoro may have gotten away with and over the back, but nonetheless, you've seen this Ball State team really crashing the boards. You saw Michael Lewis really preaching on that during that last time out. They were getting out-rebounded heavily. All of a sudden, now the rebounding game is even, 17-17. As we head to the break, it's only a 2-point game with the Titans out front outrun the Cardinals by 2.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break here. You're listening to Ball State basketball here on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back, folks, from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trail by 2 to Detroit Mercy, 24-22. 3:31 left in the first half. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. And what we got here is a battle that's been separated by not only the free throw line. It's Detroit Mercy, they're 0 for 2 from the charity stripe. Ball State 10 of 14. That's what's really gotten them back into this game. But also the three-point shooting ability of the Titans, especially Emmanuel Quach. Those 2 3-pointers he hit along the stretch midway through the first half really catapulted this Titans team.
And for the Cardinals, you thought you were going to be your 2 impact players in Jamari Fat Hill and Peyton Sparks. And it has not gone that way. Right now, the leading scorer for the Cardinals, Juanse Gorosito, who's got 8 points, and that's not really what you expected. Right now Hill's just really been trying to chuck up shots from beyond the arc, and unfortunately for him, it has not been going to his favor, and that's kind of been one of the weaknesses in Hill's game. Hill, only an 8% shooter from beyond the arc, but shoots 51% from inside of it, so the Cardinals really need to get him going from inside the arc.
And Gorosito, 8 points. He has 1 3-pointer, a very deep 3 that just blew the roof off of this place. And now Nate Johnson gets 2 free throw attempts for Detroit Mercy, looking to get back to that 2-possession lead. Nate Johnson looking for his first points of the contest, the true freshman. First free throw falls through. Nate Johnson, what an interesting background for him. He comes from Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was a multi-sport athlete in high school, running track and playing basketball. And he has a sport in his bloodline. His cousin Morgan Tuck played at UConn, and she won 4 NCAA national titles, played in the WNBA. Nadu gets it back off of the foul shot on the left wing and drills a 3. 28-22, the Titans lead.
4-point possession right there, and that is key because right when it seemed Ball State had the momentum, lead gets extended right back up to 6.
But Johnson, his cousin, played for the 2020 Seattle Storm team that won the WNBA championship, and Hernandez travels on the other end for Ball State. So now under 3 minutes to play, a 28-22 Titans lead. And going back to Johnson, not only that, his other cousin is Wilbert McCormick. If you're a Detroit Mercy fan, you probably recognize that name. Played in the late 70s for the Titans and is second all-time in assists for Detroit Mercy.
And winning's in the DNA in that family for sure.
Exactly. I can't imagine how Thanksgiving was there. Hernandez on a fast break. It's one-on-one, him and Johnson. Tough take the other way, underhands it. No foul with the tough contact, but Jeremiah Hernandez goes coast to coast. It's now a 28-24 ball game.
I think Johnson initially thought about taking the charge, but realized he was in the restricted area, could not take that charge, and just let Hernandez get up there and get the bucket.
Pass nearly intercepted by Hernandez. It was actually, goes all the way to the backcourt, but Nadu gets it back for Detroit Mercy. Lovejoy spins his way in. Hendricks picks his pocket. Now Joey Hart, the Kentucky transfer, goes all the way on the left block, finds himself in the double team. They reset with Britton Watts. Now bounces inside to Ben Hendricks, guarded by Okoro and Colombe, and it's poked out, and Orlando Lovejoy gets it off of the turnover. Under 2 minutes to play now, 28-24, Detroit Mercy leads in the first half. They reset left block, Emmanuel Quach. Nate Johnson on the near side beyond the arc. Tries to push inside on Hart, using his height still backing down, puts up a hook, offensive foul. It's going the other way into the Cardinals' possession.
And right now with the Cardinals being down 4 with 97 seconds left, they're going to bring out their best lineup and see what they can get. Gorosito, who's been the best shooter for the Cardinals all day. Fat Hill, who's coming checking back in for the Cardinals. Peyton Sparks, who right now has 2 fouls, cannot get another foul. Right now the Cardinals need him to facilitate down low and at least maybe get some offensive rebounds if a shot attempt from potentially Gorosito or Hill doesn't fall. Also got Ethan Britton Watts out there as well, one of their best field goal shooters. Also a guy who really has struggled from beyond the arc.
You have Jamari Hill out there. He scored double-digit points in every game this season for Ball State, but right now he only sits at 1 point, came from the free throw line. He's on the right wing working now. Gorosito on the left side. They laser it back to Hill. Bounces inside to Peyton Sparks, who has checked back into the game. Gorosito is open in the corner, just now gets it. Finds an open Hernandez, but Naidoo gets there. Fast break the other way. Lovejoy goes coast to coast, tries to lay it up. It's short. Sparks with the save on the inbound, but it goes right back to Stephen Okoro, who has no problem laying it in right under the basket for Detroit Mercy. 30-24, under a minute to play. Gorosito works for the Cardinals at the top of the key. Jamari Hill inside to Sparks. Cardinals with 15 on the shot clock. Sparks one-on-one with Okoro. Foul called. It'll go towards Okoro. Now his 3rd foul in the ball game in just the first half. That is not what you want if you're a Detroit Mercy fan, to have your true freshman who has been the starting center for this team to get into foul trouble. And it looks like that substitution's going to be it right there. Miles Mitchell in for Okoro. Peyton Sparks 1 for 4 from the line today in the double bonus. First free throw up, gets it to fall.
Absolutely detrimental foul for Okoro and the Titans, already losing their best player early on in the ball game. Now they lose arguably their 2nd or 3rd best player, at least for the rest of the half, and we'll see how tight of a leash they have on him with him having 3 fouls entering the second half.
And Peyton goes 1 for 2 from the line as it rims out. Now 40 seconds to play and a whistle blown. Timeout called by Mark Montgomery. 39 seconds left in this first half. Detroit Mercy a 30-25 lead. But let's not forget, that first half of the Toledo game, they were out in front for a vast majority of it. They would get on runs, really sparked by Emmanuel Quach's 3-point shooting. And now they go into halftime more than likely with the lead. They just haven't been a second half team as much as you'd hope. They got outscored 46-32 against Toledo in the second half. How do you expect them to come out of the second half more energized with that in mind?
I think they're just going to try and keep getting the ball in the hands of Emmanuel Quach. I mean, he had a game last year against Milwaukee where he had 27 points, and that was just really all sparked off because of his 3-point shooting. And I think he can have a similar night. I'm not saying he's going to get 27, only having 10 just before a half, but I think he can have a 20-plus point performance to keep feeding him the ball here. I think what Mark Montgomery was trying to do right there in that timeout, get some time back on the clock, but they're trying to get a quick opportunity here, go 2 for 1, and maybe get a nice little lead to go in the half.
TJ Naidoo at the Cardinal logo. He was guarded by Gorosito. Orlando Lovejoy tries to work off of a screen from Miles Mitchell. They call the foul. Looks like it'll go against Britton Watts. And now Detroit Mercy with a 5-point lead, 30 seconds left. It'll be free throws for Orlando Lovejoy. Lovejoy for this team shoots 73% from the charity stripe. We talked about him, the transfer from Eastern Michigan. Coming out of high school, though, he was well regarded. He averaged 32 points per game his senior year of high school. Now Lovejoy, free throw is up, falls through. Second one on the way. It's 31-25 Titans.
Yeah, 1 of 2 Eastern Michigan transfers to come to the Titans this season. You mentioned Lovejoy being a tremendous high school player. Also the team leader in assists right now for the Titans. So he's really been their top playmaker on the year. And now 30 seconds left. We'll see if Ball State will try and hold for the last shot.
Let's see if they can. It's about a half-second difference between shot clock and game clock. The shot clock's still on. So technically speaking, they really can't get the last shot, but they will still hold at half court. Ethan Britton Watts. They don't, now they attack with 13 seconds left. Hernandez top of the key, he's in trouble. Goes inside, Pearson, pump fakes. Gorosito is wide open on the far side. Pearson gets fouled. Yeah, Juancy Gorcito, we heard people screaming in the crowd for him on that far side corner. He was wide open.
You heard the Detroit Mercy bench screaming for someone to guard him because he's wide open, and that's really been the only guy on the Ball State offensive end who's been able to do something that hasn't been at the charity stripe. But you bring your best, arguably your best free throw shooter in Mickey Pearson to the free throw line and at least limit the damage and hopefully cut it to 5 before the half.
Mickey Pearson right down the hatch with the first free throw. Now it's 32-26, and some changes for Ball State. Mason Jones enters the game for the Cardinals. You also got Fat Hill in there as well. 7.1 seconds will be awarded to Detroit Mercy to get a shot off after this free throw from Pearson.
And as you mentioned, the Cardinals bring in their defensive lineup to really limit any potential last opportunity to get a heave for the Titans.
And that he does. Cardinals bring a soft press. Lovejoy takes it up, guarded by Britton Watts. 3 seconds, 2, puts up a shot, middle of the lane, bounces out of bounds off of Nadeau, and that'll be all she wrote for the first half. The Detroit Mercy Titans, a 32-27 lead over Ball State, and this is something that a lot of Cardinal fans really didn't expect from Detroit Mercy coming into this game in the first half so hot.
Yeah, but this is a Detroit Mercy team who has a lot of familiarity with MAC foes. They are 184 and 131 all-time in any matchup they've had against MAC teams, so they seem to have the number of the MAC a little bit. However, their last 7 games have been where they've struggled. They're 0-7 in their last 7, a 7-game losing streak against MAC foes, and we'll see if Ball State can make it an 8th. However, they'll have to claw their way back in as they trail by 5, 32-27 at half.
And that'll take us into the halftime break. We'll be right back with a halftime report coming your way soon. Ball State down by 5 to Detroit Mercy, 32-27. You are watching Ball State men's basketball on SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
Welcome back, folks, from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trail by 5 at halftime to Detroit Mercy, 32-27. On what's a beautiful night for basketball here in Muncie. Packed house. First 300 students that came to this game got a free food voucher at the concession stand. I mean, that's just great by Coach Michael Lewis.
I thought you were going to say beautiful day outside, and I was just going to say no, Roen. Absolutely not. It is freezing. I'm so glad we are in the warmth of Worthen Arena here tonight. I mean, no better place when it's ice cold in Muncie, Indiana than coming inside one of the best places to watch a college basketball game in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, and I'll even say in the country, to be completely honest. I mean, but that, again, that's just November weather for you. Not only in Indiana, but also for our Detroit Mercy fans watching. I'm sure you know up in Michigan how bad it can get.
Oh, they get it worse. Can you believe it's only going to get worse from here?
Yeah, I heard it's supposed to snow tomorrow. They get like...
Oh, my goodness.
But going back to the action here, Detroit Mercy a 32-27 lead over Ball State. And there have been a lot of ups and downs for both teams. And for Detroit Mercy, the main storyline, no matter if they win or lose, it's going to be losing Mac Mansell. Halfway through the first quarter, goes down with a nasty ankle injury, had to be stretchered off of the court. But at the same time, they haven't really missed a beat ever since losing him. Just how do you think, if at all, this affected the Titans team?
Well, I think it obviously affects the mental being of this team. Like, you go in the locker room and there's a little bit of a different feel, obviously. I mean, game plan changes a bit, but they've had guys who have filled those roles, and it really just shows the depth of this team this year. I mean, last year this was a team where if they lost even one of their key contributors, I mean, it was a struggle enough as it was, but, I mean, it was going to be pretty much hopeless if they lost one of their best players last year. This year, they come in with a lot deeper of a team, and, you know, the guys who have filled in the roles off the bench, they've almost maybe had a bigger role, especially Quach. I mean, Quach has had such a huge night for the Detroit Mercy team, and you thought it was going to be Mansell or maybe even Lovejoy, and Quach just comes in, and a guy who is capable of putting 20-plus points up a night if he gets that hot hand, and at least so far tonight, he's had it.
He definitely has, and with Quach, this is something I kind of expected. I'm sure a lot of Detroit Mercy fans were excited with the presence he brings, a transfer from New Mexico. But I do want to touch on with Ball State, I think, in my opinion at least, the player of the half has to be Wansi Gorosito. 3 for 4 from the field, 8 points, 2 for 3 from downtown. Gorosito as a whole was, I mean, the offense in a sense was running through him. He's so good at getting open on the perimeter. And what we saw from Gorosito is that there is no range to how far he can shoot that three. There's no limit, I should say, to his three-point range. We saw him shoot a three from almost the beak of the Cardinal, and he was able to drain it. Just how important is Gorosito staying hot to this Ball State team in the second half?
I mean, it's immense, obviously, because Gorosito's been far and away the best shooter in this half, but I think for the Cardinals, I think they're okay if he doesn't have as big of a role in the second half. I mean, that was as bad of a shooting half from the Cardinals as you could have possibly had. With the exception of Gorosito, they shot 21%. So you got to find different ways to get your offense rolling, and I think Fat Hill is going to have a huge second half. He only had 1 point, and that came from the free throw line to start the game, and ever since, he's been quiet. I think he's going to have a big resurgence in the second half. Peyton Sparks, you need him to have a big role here tonight. He's played 10 minutes. You need him to have a full second half. Can he do that? That will remain a question, but I think the Cardinals, if he can get him for a full second half, they come out on top in this ballgame. And I think another key, Ethan Britton Watts. If he can get things going from beyond the arc, he struggled a little bit from beyond the arc, and that's kind of forced Gorosito to go into his role, but if they can have someone else who can complement Gorosito beyond the arc and not have to force, a trap on the perimeter of just Gorosito and other guys can knock down that shot, that'll be huge for the Cards.
Yeah, going back to Fat Hill, 1 point on the day, 0 for 3 from the field goal area, but also 0 for 2 from 3. So 2 of his 3 shots coming from downtown. That's actually kind of unexpected. I didn't really expect that, just knowing his game. He's more of a slasher. I mean, heck, he was just on SportsCenter top 10 plays last week, had the #1 play for his poster dunk against Dayton. And although that was a comeback that fell short, still, it gave life to this Cardinals team when they've been struggling in the first part of the season. But going back, I want to talk about the free throw line with this matchup. Ball State 13 of 18 from the charity stripe, 72%. Mickey Pearson 6 for 6 from the line. Jeremiah Hernandez 4 for 4. Meanwhile, for Detroit Mercy, 3 for 6 from the charity stripe. But what's funny about that too is that for the vast majority of this game, really in the first half, they were 0 for 2 from the free throw line for a big part of that. Just the fact that this is a 5-point game, would you attribute most of that to the free throw shooting for Ball State?
I mean, yes and no. I think it goes more on the shooting as a whole of Detroit Mercy versus the shooting of Ball State. I mean, Ball State, as I previously mentioned, is shooting 21% with the exception of Gorosito. And this is a Detroit Mercy team that's shooting 41% from the field, 50% from beyond the arc. So they're hitting their shots when they need them, and when they're open, they're taking those open mid-range, they're taking those open threes, and the Cardinals just have not been hitting those same shots. Big difference for the Cardinals, though, in that first half that will carry over to the second half. Detroit Mercy had 13 fouls as a team in the first half. While Ball State did have a bit with 8, it's going to be deep trouble for a short-handed Detroit Mercy team. And with Okoro having 3 fouls, I think Ball State's going to really control the boards in the second half. But it's about what they do with the rebound control, and if they can force good shots out of it and get good second chance opportunities.
Yeah, and something to note with the rebounding, Peyton Sparks, this season, he's having what I would say might be his best rebounding performance as a whole. 7 rebounds. He's looking to potentially get his first double-digit rebound performance of the season. How important is that for his confidence?
It's vital to his confidence. I mean, this is a guy who is not playing his best basketball to start the year, and I think he knows that as well. And he's trying to, create a spark, no pun intended, for this Cardinals team. And right now, I mean, they're trying to get him a little bit more involved on the offensive side of things, but he has been just a phenomenal presence on the defensive end. You mentioned those rebounds. At the start of the game, it was 5 offensive rebounds in the first 3 minutes for the University of Detroit Mercy. And just from there, they've kind of been in control. I mean, it's a team that has out-rebounded their opponents by 15 rebounds a game, and it looked like it was going to be at that pace to start the game. And ever since, the Cardinals have kind of limited them a little bit, and now the difference is only 3. But the offensive rebounds have only been, they've gone down significantly. It was at 5 in the first 4 minutes, and they've only gotten 3 since. And the Cardinals, that's been a huge, that's mainly because of Peyton Sparks and his defensive presence down low in the paint.
And speaking of rebounds with Detroit Mercy, one thing I'm kind of shocked about is that Legend Jeter, a guy who has been such a key player for this team, he only got into the game once, and it was for under 1 minute. And he's a guy that can collect boards. He's not injured. He's out there warming up as we speak. Do you expect him to be incorporated more in the second half game plan for the Titans? I
mean, he was a guy that I expect to be starting, so I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't played much of a role in this ball game here. So I expect him, especially in the second half with the foul trouble of Okoro, to have a real big impact in the first 10 minutes or so, and I think that'll dictate the rest of the ball game.
And now finally, as we approach second half action, Sam, what are your keys to the game for both teams in the second half to pull away with a victory?
Ball State's just got to move the ball around a little more. They're either moving it to one wing or the other. They got to just really move the ball around without turning the ball over. Turnovers were a glaring weakness for the Cardinals in that first half, having 11 of them. While Detroit Mercy did have 9, they had a lot of offensive drives that just, were interrupted by the turnover, and they need to eliminate that. Detroit Mercy also had 18 points in the paint in that first half. So when you move the ball around a little more and you avoid those turnovers, you get those easy points in the paint. So if Ball State can do that, I mean, they're a much bigger, more physical team, so they should be dominating those points in the paint, but they haven't.
And that'll take us to break as we head into half number 2. Can the Cardinals pull away as they trail by 5? Well, you'll have to tune back in the second half to find out. 32-27, Detroit Mercy leads as we head into second half action. We'll be right back. You're listening to Ball State Men's Basketball on Ball State SportsLink Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptonin.com. At munciesuites.hamptonin.com.
We are back from Warden Arena, just getting ready for second half action. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. Ball State trails 32-27 to the Titans of Detroit Mercy. Detroit wearing their navy blue jerseys with red lettering. Ball State, their white jerseys with red lettering. We saw Ball State in the last matchup against Indiana State wear their gray jerseys. I mean, if you want to put in a fun stat, Ball State is undefeated at home, 1-0 when they wear their white jerseys.
They're trying to, create a little bit of a momentum boost by wearing those white jerseys, the ones that they primarily wore at home last year, and see if that can create a W. And superstitions are a real thing in sports.
I believe it. We're underway here. Wide open underneath the basket. Up and under. Rejected by Joey Hart. Nate Johnson tried to go up. Joey Hart said, no. 32-27 as we are opening up the second half. Titans lead. Peyton Sparks on the high block, the handoff to Hill. Tries to work around a screen from Sparks. He angles inside, sizzles his way through to the rack.
And that is the halftime adjustments playing to fruition right there. Mentioned that Hill really needed to start driving into the paint. He's a 51% shooter from inside the arc, and right now showing that why his finishing game is the best part of his ball ability.
32-29, Titans lead. Top of the key three. Legend Jeter drills it. All net, no rim. 35-29. That sucks the life out of this Ball State crowd. Legend Jeter, a guy that you don't normally see take these shots. 0% from three going into this game. Jeter hits his first three-pointer of the season.
His first collegiate three ever.
Yeah, top of the key. Jamari Hill works. Mickey Pearson. Now they go back to Hill. Between the legs, far corner. A three from Hart. Catapults off of the rim. Long rebound. Detroit Mercy was unable to come up with it. Hart almost had an opportunity for some second chance points. But nonetheless, Detroit Mercy does reset now with the top of the key to Jeter. We see Jared Larry, the transfer from Aquinas. Quach thought about taking his fourth three-point attempt of the game, but he instead to go back to Lovejoy. Now Quach inside, guarded by Britton Watts. Spin move, mid-range shot is well short. And Mickey Pearson saves it from going out of bounds on the baseline for Ball State. The Cardinals move right to left. Far corner, Britton Watts catapults the three, back iron. And that's unfortunate for Ethan Britton Watts. 0 for 3 from beyond the arc now.
Couple open looks for the Cardinals. Joey Hart on that last possession had a chance to get the second chance rebound, but I don't think he saw it. And as a result, Detroit Mercy got the possession, and right now the lead still stands at 6.
35-29 our score. Quach, three-pointer on the right wing. It's money. 38-29. Emmanuel Quach, have a day. 13 points already with 17 minutes and 30 seconds left in the second half.
They're coming out firing to start the second half. Couple three-pointers, especially from a guy in Jeter who really doesn't shoot the three-point shot at all. So for him to hit that three-point shot really got everyone else going.
And that was the killer for Ball State in the Indiana State game, if you remember. They lob up inside for Sparks. He's double-teamed. No problem. Gets his own rebound off of the miss, but it's tipped back out to Jared Larry of the Titans. He goes coast to coast. Bodies his way over Hill and all the way to the cup for 2 points. 40-29. Detroit Mercy leads by 11. They're coming out hot right out of the gates. first points for Jared Larry of this contest. Man.
What an electrifying start for the Titans. The Cardinals fans right there on that possession wanted to travel there on the drive, but it looked clean to me. Just a beautiful up and under move and got the bucket to go down. So right now the Titans having their biggest lead of the ball game at one of the bigger times in the second half. You mentioned the second half has been a critical weakness for the Cardinals, but it's been a weakness for the Titans too. So it's kind of a battle of who can play against their weakness better, and right now the Titans are on the up end.
Yeah. Detroit Mercy, 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes. We saw Ball State, they opened up the half with 2 points, and then you see this from Detroit Mercy, unreal. 40-29 our scores. We're in this break right here in the second half. If you're in that huddle right now with Ball State, and boy, would I love to be a fly attached to a wall, hearing that huddle with Michael Lewis, what do you think he's telling those guys?
I think for starters, you're not going to get this lead or this deficit back in one possession. So don't chuck up a crazy shot in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock thinking that you're going to make a big play that'll create a difference right away. That's not going to happen. I think the biggest thing he's preaching right now is getting it done on the defensive end. They have really struggled with perimeter defense all season long, and at the Division I level, you cannot give guys much open space anywhere within, I'd say, probably 25 feet. And I think the Cardinals have done that a little bit too much with this Detroit Mercy squad, who's really been a good three-point shooting team to start the year. And as a result, it has really bitten them. And right now, they have to dig themselves out of a monumental hole.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, too, with Ball State right now, I expected this to be an opportunity for them to work off of turnovers. Detroit Mercy is a team, they turn the ball over quite a bit, 14 turnovers, and that has not really changed today. 9 turnovers, and we're just barely getting into the second half. And Ball State, they just haven't been taking advantage of that, so maybe that's another thing we can touch on there.
Yeah, and you think with the Titans having a smaller lineup, that'd be more of a hindrance to them, but instead it's actually been more of a strength instead, and the Cardinals have really struggled with that smaller lineup. I mean, the Cardinals went with a small ball lineup to answer early on in the ball game, and that didn't seem to work. They bring out a little bit bigger lineup, and that helps a little bit in the rebounding category, but then it takes away from the defensive ability.
A hindrance. I love, you know, being around you, Sam, I learn a new word every day.
I like to say I'm a bit of an encyclopedia over here. It's only going to get better. I'm taking a Latin Greek roots class next semester. I'm really looking forward to that.
Man, just watch out after that. Sam Egan hitting the airwaves. Mickey Pearson will inbound for Ball State. Detroit Mercy coming out of the timeout. They're playing a soft press. TJ Birch and Jeremiah Hernandez check in for the Cardinals. Again, 40-29 our score. Detroit Mercy looking for their 3rd win of the season. And they're looking for their first 30-2 start since 2017. Detroit Mercy, that is. Now TJ Birch at the top of the key, he handles. Jamari Hill feeds inside to Sparks. He's double teamed, no problem. Peyton Sparks banks it in, 9-point ball game, 40-31. The advantage going the other way to Detroit Mercy.
That's what Sparks needs to be doing every time. Only 4 points in this ball game, and they really need to get him going down low.
Left wing, Birch guards Lovejoy quickly. Jeter at the top of the key. We saw that earlier with the three-pointer. They feed to him inside off the pick and roll. Banks it in off the glass. 5 points in the second half and 5 points on the day for legend Jeter. 42-31 Detroit Mercy leads. Jamari Hill pushes inside quickly on the right side. Gets his pocket picked. Goes off of his foot and out of bounds on the baseline. It's going the other way with 16-18 left in the ball game.
So once again, those pick and rolls on the opposite end for Detroit Mercy force a mismatch and an easy bucket for Jeter. And on the defensive end, there's Hill just trying to work in a little too quickly, and as a result, quick turnover.
Jared Larry pushes inside off of Sparks and draws the contact off the glass and one. 44-31 now the score. Jared Larry, the opportunity for a three-point play.
A Cardinals team that wanted to get on the right foot here in this ballgame. A Detroit Mercy team that has totally been revitalized this year after struggling last year so mightily, going 1-31, having the most losses in NCAA history. And as you mentioned, right now trying to get off to their best start since 2017, and they've had some really good players come through that program, and for them to have such a good start after such a disaster season last year would be huge.
Larry misses at the free throw line, unable to complete the three-point play, but still a 13-point Detroit Mercy lead. They led by 5 coming out of halftime. 44-31 the score. Under 16 minutes to play in this contest. TJ Birch works off a screen from Hendricks. Hernandez thought about a left wing 3. He instead goes to Birch, who fires from downtown and delivers. TJ Birch, the freshman from downtown, to make it a 10-point ball game.
Need it and got it. TJ Birch, he's 4 of 6 now from beyond the arc, so one of the best three-point shooters for the Cardinals, who was 75% coming in, continuing to do what he's been needed to do this season.
Yep, his first points of the ball game. Orlando Lovejoy tried to spin his way in on Birch, but Birch making plays on both ends of the court. Larry drives in inside again, and Legend Jeter goes up, rejected by Pearson. Pearson cleans the glass on that play. Gorosito goes the other way, lob up for Hendricks. He collects, goes up, gets his own rebound off of the miss. Pearson gets it back, the leading rebounder for Ball State. He puts up, draws the foul. Mickey Pearson on the day, 8 points. 6 of those come from the charity stripe, and he will have 2 more attempts right now as we head into a timeout. The Ball State Cardinals trail 34-44 to Detroit Mercy with 15 minutes and 3 seconds left in this contest. We'll be right back, folks. You're listening to Ball State Men's Basketball on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesweets.hamptoninn.com. At munciesweets.hamptoninn.com.
We are back from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trail 34-44 to Detroit Mercy. 15 minutes and 3 seconds left in the second half. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan. And Sam, we saw going into the second half, Detroit Mercy a 5-point lead, but then they come out firing on all cylinders. They go on an 8-0 run, and it takes us to where we are now. Detroit Mercy has led by as much as 13 in this half.
Yeah, and it's just really been easy points that they've been getting in the paint, and Ball State's just kind of been leaving the paint wide open, and with the exception of that last possession where Mickey Pearson took one away off the glass and kind of took one the other way, got an offensive rebound following, and now it's coming to the charity stripe, and such a critical possession for Pearson if he can get 2 here, continue to be hot at the line, go 8 for 8, and cut it to an 8-point game.
Yeah, that would be crucial. Mickey Pearson, that's just what you kind of expect from the guy. Going into this game, 81% from the free throw line. Last year, like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he was third in the MAC last year in free throw percentage. And I think a lot of that comes from his background at Hargrave Military Academy. That's where he started at. And he learned from former Muncie Central basketball star Tommy Freeman, who was on the coaching staff, and that led him to an opportunity at TCU. Ended up transferring to Ball State. First free throw and the first miss from the charity stripe for Mickey Pearson on the day. The former Horned Frog now will attempt the second free throw.
If I'm correct, he's one of 11 Division I players on that team.
Man, and he gets that one to fall. I mean, yeah, that is a lot of talent on the floor, and for Mickey Pearson to be able to stand out amongst the crowd, it just shows what a special talent he is. 44-35, Detroit Mercy leads. Jared Larry at the top of the key, guarded closely by Gorosito. Birch picks his pocket, fast break, coast to coast, underhand, and one! TJ Birch, you are ridiculous!
What a smart play from Birch right there, but he's a bit shaken up. Freshman did not look like a freshman right there. Made a veteran move to decide to go under and draw the contact instead of trying to just go up with it, and instead draws the foul and the opportunity to make it a 3-point play. As he's still trying to gather himself a bit, but what a move there from TJ Birch. It's rare to see Michael Lewis put in a freshman but he was so excited from the second he got Birch to commit here. He knew he was going to have a big impact for this Cardinals team, and already 5 games in, as a freshman, averaging over double-digit points.
Cardinals trail by 7, 44-37, under 15 to play in the contest. Birch completes the 3-point play. You know, TJ Birch comes from Dallas, Texas. 3 out of his 4 years in high school, he averaged over 20 points per game. That just shows the amount of talent that you're getting with TJ Birch with this Ball State team. That's why he's made an impact early, averaging over 10 points per game. So far on the day, he has 6.
The thing I like about Birch the most, he's one of us. He's a sports media major.
Exactly, yeah. He might take your job. Who knows? Jeter misses off the front of the rim from mid-range, and now Wansi Gorosito has that mid-court. He leads the way for the Cardinals. Ben Hendricks at the free throw line. Pass intended for Hernandez, but Gorosito picks up the mess. A screen from Hendricks, now guarded by Jeter. Swings out to Pearson. Left wing, drives on the baseline. Off glass and good. Mickey Pearson cuts it to 4. 44-40, 14 minutes left. And a timeout called by Mark Montgomery and the Titans. Ball State is rallying. Can you hear it here in Worthen?
The momentum has flipped here in Muncie. What was an 8-0 run for the Titans flips the script, and now a 9-0 run for the Cardinals. They still trail by 4, but they have all the momentum. They have that home court advantage, and with 14 minutes left, it's 44-40, and the life in here is absolutely electric.
And that is perfect timing to take us to a commercial break. 44-40, Detroit Mercy leads over Ball State. 14 minutes left in this contest. We'll be right back. You're listening to Ball State Sports Link Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Welcome back, folks. Orlando Lovejoy moves up the court for Detroit Mercy. It's a 44-40 contest where the Titans lead with under 14 minutes to play here. They force inside to Lovejoy. Ben Hendricks comes up with the takeaway. It will be going the other way. Ball State basketball.
It is all Ball State right now, and one key thing, at least for both teams, is the fouls have been limited. There's only 3 fouls for the Titans so far and only 1 for the Cardinals, so refs have been letting them play, and it's just been back and forth, a quick pace for both teams, and love to see just the action-packed pace that we've had so far. Back and forth we go.
Gorosito feeds inside to Hendricks, top of the key. Hernandez unloads from downtown off the back iron, and Lovejoy corrals in the miss for Detroit Mercy. The Titans move left to right with their navy blue jersey and the student section that got their free food voucher. You can tell they're all filled up with the food, and they are happy with this Cardinals performance in the second half.
You never know, they might want a little appetizer later, maybe miss 2 free throws and go to Roots, get some free tater tots.
Hey, do they still do that?
Yeah, they still do it.
Oh, perfect. TJ Nadeau, left wing, 3-pointer, off the front of the rim, nearly bounces in, and that might be basket interference. But nope, they're going to say it's a foul on the floor. Because we saw right there, it looked like Gorosito got his hand on the rim as the basket was coming down. I thought it could have been basket interference, but it'll stay here with Detroit Mercy. Score still the same, 44-40, Titans in front.
So you know the Satan shooter's roll? That was a reverse shooter's roll. Got every bounce but the bottom of the net.
Indeed, that has to be frustrating for TJ Nadeau. 5 points on the day for the true freshman, but we did see him miss his first free throw of the season earlier in the contest. And like a lot of Detroit Mercy prospects, he comes from Michigan itself, Detroit Catholic High School. Now Miles Mitchell, another true freshman, also from Michigan, checks into the contest for the Titans. He hands off to Larry on the right wing. A step back move, top of the key. Mitchell, the tallest player on this team, feeds inside to Colombe. Hernandez takes it away. Ball State moves the other way, right to left. TJ Birch dribbles from right to left on the left wing. Middle of the lane, rejected by Larry, sends it right back the other way. Lovejoy with the left hand, tough take, foul will go on Pearson as Lovejoy was right under the basket with a shot attempt. He will have 2 free throws with 12:41 left in the second half, 44-40. Detroit Mercy leads.
And Lovejoy had a head of steam right there and was moving in quickly, and Pearson tried putting his hands up, trying to, just defend the shot, but unfortunately for Pearson, his feet weren't set and he drew the foul.
Yeah, how do you stop that? First free throw goes through for Orlando Lovejoy, who's now up to 9 points on the day. Going into this game, 73% from the charity stripe. He's 3 for 3 today.
So we've seen Gorosito out there for a while for the Cards, but he's yet to see him take a shot. And we've seen the absence of Jamari Hill for a while now.
Yep, second free throw is made. 46-40 Titans lead. 12:30 left to play. Cardinals right, left. Hernandez. Three-pointer on the right arc. It scrapes off of the rim. Long rebound by TJ Nadeau. And yeah, that's something that intrigues me, why we haven't seen Gorosito take these shots. But Nadeau gives it on the handoff to Larry. Titans working the perimeter like they do, a very perimeter-centric team. Nadeau thought about a three on the right elbow, but he instead moves inside. Hernandez reaches inside and draws up a travel on TJ Nadeau, and in comes Ethan Britton-Watts for the freshman TJ Birch. And also for Detroit Mercy, Nate Johnson comes in for Jared Larry.
So still no Peyton Sparks and still no Jamari Hill, which is the two bigger impact players that we expected to see today, and they haven't seen to touch the court much here in the second half. Hill's a guy who kind of reminds me of another guy who came out of the MAC last year. His name's Marcus Hill, went to Bowling Green, dropped 28 on the Cardinals last year. Now currently at North Carolina State.
Gorosito at the top of the key, now works inside. And a foul called, looks like it's going on Ryan Colombe, and Mark Montgomery not happy. And that takes us to a media timeout with 11:53 left in the second half. 46-40 Detroit Mercy leads over Ball State. But I do want to bring up 1 point with this Cardinals team, and it's that Mickey Pearson in the second half. The impact he's had on this kind of Cardinals comeback right now. He's got 11 points on the day.
All of a sudden, the team leading points.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. And out of the 11 points, 7 of them coming from the charity stripe. He has given this Ball State team a spark. And right now, a 46-40 contest, and as it stands right now, 13 turnovers for Detroit Mercy. For Ball State, you got 12. And I remember an old saying, and I know exactly who it's from. I thought I'd be paraphrasing. It comes from Frank Vogel, former NBA Coach of the Year. He said, usually the team that turns the ball over 12 times first ends up losing the ball game. That's just how important the turnover battle is. And right now, it's been pretty dead even.
13-12 right now, so we'll see who can make the least amount of mistakes towards the end of this ball game. It's a Ball State team who dug themselves a deep hole to start the second half, and now we'll see if they can get themselves out of it. Ball State team that has 4 players who average around double figures. 2 of them really haven't seen much action in Hill, who's your leading scorer, and Sparks, who have not really seen much action in the second half, but Mickey Pearson's one of those 4 who does average double figures, the other being Tyler Birch. And Birch being a freshman, expect him to have a big impact, but not this early on. And Pearson obviously being a redshirt senior, you expect him to have a big impact with his role and him being now a 4th-year guy in this program. But what do you expect from those guys in Hill and Sparks to bring in the last 12 minutes or so?
What I expect, I would say with Hill and Sparks, especially from Hill, when he does get back into this contest, which it's coming soon, which is shocking why we haven't seen him. 0 fouls on the day. When he does come in, he's going to play aggressive. For Peyton Sparks, I just don't know if he will play with that same aggressiveness. But yeah, 11:53 left in the second half. 46-40 Titans advantage. They're showing fans on the Jumbotron. I was hoping maybe one of these days, I've got 4 years to do it, that they'll show us on the Jumbotron mid-call.
In the booth?
In the booth.
I think it would have to take a pretty empty crowd for that to happen. Pretty nice crowd on hand here today.
Yeah, today is not the day for that. Ethan Britton-Watts inbounds for Ball State as they trail by 6. On the left side of the basket, Hernandez cuts across. And they go up top to Hendricks. It's intercepted by Colombe. Goes diving into the Ball State bench.
Risky pass right there.
Yeah, and he knocked over a couple of guys. You don't want to call a timeout, especially in the second half when you know you'll need it. The Cardinals do have 2 timeouts left.
Right now, this is an opportunity where the Cardinals need to get things going. No Quach out there for the Titans, and neither no Okoro either, so they really need to get things going against this Mercy bench.
Hernandez spin move, middle of the lane. He gets hacked, but they call a travel before the foul, so it'll go Detroit Mercy's way, left to right. Now Orlando Lovejoy moves up the court. He's one of 2 Titans in double digits today with 10 points. He's at the top of the key, guarded by Britton Watts. He called for a screen from Johnson, doesn't get it. They move inside to Colombe. He pushes inside. Hendricks gets a finger on it. Gorosito the other way for Ball State. He's on the right wing behind the back, draws a double team up, and they go to Mickey Pearson on the left wing. They cut across. Britton Watts now with it. A screen from Hendricks. Across court, skips to Gorosito. His three-pointer, money! Cuts it to 3. Juan C. Gorosito's third three-pointer. 11 points on the day. 46-43 ball game. 11 minutes left in the second half.
A much-needed connection for his first points of the second half, but Gorosito now has to lock in on the defensive end. Already has 3 fouls, cannot get a 4th right here when he's been so crucial for this Ball State offense.
Gorosito, a turnover. Cardinals look to go coast to coast. Pull up 3, top of the key, rims out. That was a heat check, and you heard the collective from the crowd. Still 46-43.
Doing everything on both ends, got the steal and nearly got the game-tying 3. Just a little bit of a rush shot on an open 3.
And a 3-point attempt from the freshman Miles Mitchell for Detroit Mercy goes out of bounds on the baseline. Colombe tried to save it. Props to him, but instead goes out of bounds. They'll go Ball State's way as they move right to left. 10 minutes and 31 seconds left in the second half. It is a 46-43 ball game. The 5 for the Cardinals out right now. Britton Watts, Pearson, Hernandez, Hendricks, and Gorosito. Top of the key, a miscue. Legend Jeter picks it up. He intercepts it. Now Nadu, near corner, Quach, open 3, lets it fly, and it's off the back iron, collected by Larry. He goes back up with it, doesn't even need the glass, goes right towards the cup. 48-43, another 2 points for Jared Larry. 6 points, all of them coming in the second half.
And that was unfortunate for the Cardinals, just put in a bad situation. You had Gorosito trying to get the offensive rebound, being stuck in the paint. He was a little bit shaken up after trying to get that rebound. And the second chance points once again for the Titans.
Pass intended for Hendricks from Mickey Pearson down low, gets intercepted by Jeter. So now Ball State, it's turnovers that are kind of working against them. We talked about 2 impacts. Coming back in here, Fat Hill and Peyton Sparks at the scorer's table. Near side, it's Lovejoy, gets a screen from Quach. Nadu, right wing, 3-pointer, unloads, rims out, long rebound, Emmanuel Quach. Gorosito fought hard, but Larry, he unloads from downtown with a 3-pointer of his own. 51-43, 5-0 Titans lead after Ball State cut it to 3. 9:12 left in the second half. Wow.
What a back and forth affair we have here, Roen, and this one just going in the favor of Detroit Mercy within the last 2 minutes or so. Wonder if that one will get called back to a 2-pointer. You saw Coach Mark Montgomery signified 2. I don't know if that was a defensive call or that one may have been a 2, but nonetheless, team got quickly back on defense and forced Michael Lewis to call a timeout.
I mean, you think he's snitching on his own team?
Probably not.
No, because I don't get why he would do that to signify a 2-pointer. I mean, especially with Ball State, how hot they can get, especially now they got Fat Hill on the court, and you still have Juancy Gorosito. Anything can happen. We still have plenty of time left. 9 minutes and 12 seconds left, so Cardinal fans, don't fret, but at the same time, if you're a Titans fan, you have to be happy with what you're seeing.
Yeah, and this is a go-now offense rotation for the Cardinals out there right now. 3 guards is their best offensive team that they're going to get out there right now. Their best 3-point shooters on the floor as well with Britton Watts, and Gorosito.
Yeah, now Detroit Mercy, all of a sudden, they're winning the turnover battle 15-14. Mason Jones, who just checked back into the game, he was under the basket. They go back out to Ethan Britton Watts. Gorosito, far corner, 7 on the shot clock. Jones has to spin and shoot inside, feed to Sparks, banks it in. Now a 6-point ball game, 51-45, Titans advantage.
And Sparks already had 6 points on the night, but he really needs to start getting himself going in the last 8 minutes or so. Biggest body on the floor for either side, so they need him to really control the paint on both ends.
Top of the key, Legend Jeter works. Tries to give a screen to Nadu, and a foul called. Looks like it's going against Juancy Gorosito. That's his 4th foul, which is crucial for Detroit Mercy. Michael Lewis is ready for it. In comes TJ Birch for Gorosito.
So although Birch has also been another really solid three-point shooter this year, you're losing your hot hand in Gorosito, and he's really displeased with himself having to head to the bench. The Argentinian has had a really impressive night with 11 points here. You wonder how long it will be before he checks back in, despite the fact he wasn't going to have a huge role, at least it seemed like in the start of this ballgame.
They lob up on the inbound left side of the basket, going for TJ Nadeau right at half court, and looks like TJ Birch took him out like an NFL linebacker. So now a foul called, and Detroit Mercy inbounds on the near side right around half court. It will be Emmanuel Quach.
You know, I could have seen that if that was maybe Mason Jones, you know, the football background in his family. His dad playing at Notre Dame, his brother playing at IU, but big hit there nonetheless from Birch, but maybe the wrong sport.
Yeah, his mom playing softball as well at IU. Lovejoy goes underneath, middle of the lane, silky smooth, makes it look so beautiful. And now, what is going on now? It looks like, are they calling that back?
I think it might have been a technical.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now. 53-45 is our score. And yeah, the entire Titans bench was not happy at all. Mark Montgomery having a word with the official. And yeah, Ball State, they are set up to take technical free throws. And let's see, after the fact, yeah, bumps right into TJ Birch, knocks him over. You cannot do that.
So I think that might go, the question is if that goes down as a flagrant, because it didn't get ruled by the official as a technical. He raised his elbow instead, which makes me wonder if they're gonna go to the monitor for this one or if it'll be a technical.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too. Yeah, the officials are discussing, but I mean, you get 2 points, so crucial. That's something you just can't do.
No, I mean, there was a really tough finish from Lovejoy, huge bucket at that moment, but maybe let the emotions get the best of him, and as a result, giving away free points to the Cardinals and might be giving those 2 points right back.
Yep, Ethan Britton Watts is the lone man at the free throw line. 53-45, Detroit Mercy leads with 8 minutes left. And it looks like they're calling a flagrant one.
So indeed it was a flagrant. So my initial thought of it being a flagrant stands true. So 1 for 1 on those tonight.
There you go, 1 for 1, 100%. I think
and we're going to stop, we're going to call it right there.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the best way to look at it. Britton Watts at the free throw line for Ball State on the season, 89% from the charity stripe. Free throw goes up, and it's able to bounce through. He'll get another one.
Yeah, with Pearson and Hernandez both not being on the floor at the moment right now, this is their best three-point shooter.
Now 46-53 our score. Second free throw rims out.
And for the Cardinals, you cannot be having that. And as a result, they want their best free throw shooter out there now in Mickey Pearson, who will be checking in for Mason Jones.
After the 2 free throws, Ball State gets possession. They go all the way to the backcourt to inbound. Mickey Pearson to inbound. Mason Jones moves to the bench. 53-46, Titans lead, 8:06 left in this ball game.
Right now it's Birch running the point instead of Hill.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting to see that, but showing the confidence in the freshman. Fat Hill has top of the key, works inside, wide open, Britton Watts, corner, Drano! Ethan Britton Watts, 53-49. Under 8 minutes to play, TJ Nadeau after the clutch 3 from Britton Watts. Jared Larry moves in with the left hand. He's double teamed, tip away by Pearson. Up under Quach, almost traveled. Larry, top of the key, 3. All net, no rim, 56-49. Downtown Jared Larry, 9 points, all coming in the second half.
Big time answer from Jared Larry. You mentioned his third 3 of the second half.
Peyton Sparks wide open under the basket. Goes up, strong take, draws the foul, unable to get the shot to fall. Peyton Sparks goes back to the free throw line where he's 2 for 6 on the day. And both teams convene with what looks to be a media timeout. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second half. 56-49 our score. Still plenty of basketball to be played here at Worden Arena. Detroit Mercy out in front. We'll be right back. You're listening to Ball State men's basketball on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Welcome back, folks, from Worthen Arena. The Ball State Cardinals trail 56-49 to the Titans of Detroit Mercy with 7:10 left in the second half. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Sam Egan, and what a fun game we've had. The Ball State, whenever they strike Detroit Mercy, they punch back harder.
And right now for the Cardinals, they're bringing out their leading scorer back on the floor, and Mickey Pearson, the only one for the Cardinals in double figures with him having 11. Meanwhile, Detroit Mercy has 2 in double figures, with Quach having 13, or 13, and then Jared Larry, a resurgence of his own, having 12 points here, with 9 of them coming in the second half.
Yeah, and also something to mention, the other double-digit scorer for Ball State right now, Wansi Gorosito, he's in foul trouble with 4 fouls, but if you're Michael Lewis, you gotta have him in the final minutes of the contest. When do you put in Gorosito?
I think you gotta wait till about the 4 or 5 minute mark. Obviously, it depends with the score. I mean, if it gets to about a 9-point game, I think you got to get desperate. And you got to put them into the game. But as of now, I mean, if you can get Sparks to knock down both these free throws, which is easier said than done, which has been obviously a struggle for the Cardinals all night at the free throw line, see if you can get it done.
Peyton Sparks, first free throw. He's 2 for 6 on the day. Make it 3 of 7 from the charity stripe. He's now up to 7 points on the day. Sparks, when it comes to rebounding, still at 7. No rebounds in the second half for Peyton. The second free throw, rims in, 2 for 2 for the big man. 56-51, Detroit Mercy leads. They drive left to right, 7 minutes and some change left. Jared Larry guarded by Britton Watts. They reset with Lovejoy. They go right wing, wide open Lovejoy, a floater on the right block, rims out. And Jeter cleans up the mess with the offensive rebound.
It's almost crazy that Sparks has not gotten a rebound at all in the second half, despite being the tallest player on the floor.
Jeter on Sparks, low block right side. Colombe, under 10 to go on the shot clock. Lovejoy with the left hand, drives deep, and they're going to call the foul. Looks like on Ethan Britton Watts. And maybe that's for the better, because Peyton Sparks soared high to get a hold of that ball off of the glass. And Orlando Lovejoy gets another 2 free throw opportunities. He's 4 for 4 from the line today, and he looks to add on to the 5-point Detroit Mercy lead with 6:39 left to play.
Cardinals fans trying to make some noise, shooting right into that student section.
That's pretty tough, as we see he drains the first free throw.
There's no issues with it. Now it's Detroit Mercy who's out-rebounding the Cardinals by 6 right now, 31-25, and that has made all the difference. That and second chance points, 13-2 right now on those second chance opportunities. So not only have they been getting those rebounds, they've been getting them on the offensive end and making the most of those second chances.
Second free throw goes right down the hatch. Ball State, they reset now. Ethan Britton Watts. Fat Hill, we haven't seen him get many touches. He gets one at the top of the key, though. Feeds inside to Sparks. He's double teamed. A hook off the mark. Jeter cleaning the glass for the Titans. They go the other way now. 58-51 the score. Detroit Mercy in front. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in this contest. Nate Johnson, the freshman. They give to Jeter. Inside, Lovejoy works. Draws a double team now. Left wing outside to Jeter. Lovejoy, Eastern Michigan transfer. The Eastern Michigan transfer. Lovejoy up and under the basket.
And got to 9 points, and right as it got to 9 points, Gorosito's getting ready to check back into the ballgame.
14 points for Orlando Lovejoy, 60-51. The Titans lead under 6 minutes to play. Fat Hill draws a bit of a double team. We see Detroit Mercy in a zone. Pearson, his right wing, three-point effort is off the mark.
Shot a lot more three-pointers last year than he has this season. His first attempt the other night, and doesn't fall for Pearson, but he's had a great night shooting, and although it was a good-looking shot, just couldn't get it to fall, and now could be potential huge possession here for the Titans.
Going into this game, he shot 26% from three. Now Lovejoy with that right hand goes inside to Johnson. Fat Hill pokes it out of bounds on the baseline. Looks like it'll stay here with the Titans with 5:13 left to play. A 9-point advantage for Detroit Mercy.
I think that one might have actually been ruled a foul on Fat Hill.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I thought I may have saw. I was contemplating it, but yeah, he reached in a little too much. And that was the question: when would we see Wansi Gorosito? There it is, right there with 5:13 left. He checks in for T.J. Birch. The 1-of-1 from Johnson rims out, and now the Cardinals kind of get a bit of a break there.
They need to have a sense of urgency right now and at least get a bucket on this possession.
And with Gorosito, that gives me a feeling they might be looking three, because you got 4 3-point threats out there on the court with Pearson, potentially Hill on the right wing. He thought about a three right there. Feeds inside to Pearson. Spoon move, middle of the lane, draws the foul. Almost banked it in off the glass right from the MAC logo in front of the restricted area. Mickey Pearson goes back to the charity stripe, which has kind of been his home tonight. He's 7 of 8 from the free throw line in this contest as the Cardinals trail by 9.
Need Pearson to knock down both of these free throws. Almost got him the three-point play the old-fashioned way, but unfortunately was unable to get that one to go down, but we'll just be shooting 2 instead, hoping to get the Cardinals right back in it.
Free throw number 1 rims out. He was perfect in the first half. Now he's missed 2 free throws in the second half. Mickey Pearson, what a day he's having nonetheless. 11 points, tied for the lead in scoring for Ball State today with Wansi Gorosito. He does go 1 for 2 though, cuts the Detroit Mercy lead down to 8. And out goes Gorosito, in comes Joey Hart. Joey Hart making his first collegiate start today, the transfer from Kentucky.
Ball State 18 of 26 from the free throw line, shooting a 69%, and that has been a key difference in this ball game.
Top of the key, Columbe. Lovejoy has an open Larry in the corner on the near side, misses. Johnson picks it up though. They go back inside to Jared Larry. Now they reset. Under 10 to go on the shot clock. Lovejoy spins his way out of trouble. Right wing three-pointer, catapults and delivers. Jared Larry, what a half he's having. He's up to 12 points. 3 Titans in double figures, 63-52. The Titans have the advantage with 4 minutes and some change left to go. Fat Hill goes inside, he's in trouble. Joey Hart, left wing three-pointer. It's short, collected by Lovejoy, and still Fat Hill. He has 3 points on the day, 1 for 4 from the field.
Uncharacteristic day from Hill, and just a lot of question marks here for the Cardinals here to wrap up this ballgame. Under 4 minutes left, and they need a lot to happen here this next 4 for this one to go their way.
Now Jeter gives a screen to Lovejoy. He works on the baseline, drives inside, gets an elbow to Britton Watts. He's still on the ground, but it doesn't go their way. Ball State moves, no whistle blown, and right now it's 4 on 5, but he gets back around. Hart, deep three from the corner. Hill comes out of nowhere, full steam ahead to climb the ladder to get the rebound. He's unable to do so. It'll go Detroit Mercy's way. Looks like a dead ball, media timeout, 3 minutes, 24 seconds left, an 11-point Titans lead. If you're a Ball State fan, or really just from an outsider's perspective, this is not what we really expected to see.
No.
But at this point right now, what can you attribute to the Titans' lead?
I mean, they have just outplayed Ball State in every aspect. Rebounding, passing, shooting the ball, in every aspect of shooting too. 3-point shooting, field goal shooting, free throw shooting. I mean, Ball State has not played their best basketball today. Their best players have not stepped up in big moments, and although they've gotten some really nice production from their bench and guys like Pearson and Gorosito, that can't be their keys to victory. Although you like to see those guys having a really nice night, when your leading scorer is only having 3 points, that's a recipe for the red flags going off a little bit.
Red flags indeed, and right now for Ball State, you're down by 11. This is when you're down by double digits this late, it seems almost impossible to make a comeback. What do you think Michael Lewis is telling those guys in the huddle right now to will them to victory?
Well, I don't even think the thought of losing is in that huddle. I think Lewis is still trying to get it ingrained in their minds that they're going to try and win this ball game. It's an 11-point game. You got to go down, got to get a quick shot, and from there you just got to play lockdown defense. You can't let them get another point. I'm sure that's what he's saying. You can't let them score another bucket for the rest of this 3 minutes and 24 seconds. 63-52 ball game. Scoring has kind of come at a premium in this ball game. Nonetheless, you got to continue to hold them and hold them and hold them, and you got to hope you start hitting your shots. Shooting 36% from the field is a recipe for disaster and is very uncharacteristic. We've already known this is a Ball State team, however, that's struggled from beyond the arc. They're shooting under 30% coming in this game, shooting at 29%, and even worse today at 22% rate and a 70% free throw percentage at the line. It kind of just tells you the story of the ballgame. They've had so many attempts at the free throw line. They've shot 15 more free throws than Detroit Mercy. When a team shoots 15 more free throws than another team, they should win the game more times than not. And that just has not been the case.
Yeah, Cardinals 22% from three-point land today. But while we have this dead time with the media timeout, let's talk about Ball State and Detroit Mercy's last matchup and just overall their matchup history. They have played 5 times dating back to 1977. Ball State leads the series 3-2. The Titans can tie the series at 3 apiece right now. And I like to think of it as a best of 7. So maybe there's more from where that came from. And the most recent Ball State win came just last year, 68-65. And it came off of a 26 performance from Bashir Jihad for the Cardinals. Bashir now at Arizona State, averaging over 11 points per game. And also for the Titans, this is so huge. They've dropped their last 7 matchups against MAC opponents in their school history. They look to right that wrong in the final 3 minutes.
Took the words right out of my mouth, looking to wrap up that 7-game MAC losing streak. But not only that, this is the 118th year of the Detroit Mercy Titans basketball program. They're 1,905 and 1,906.
Ooh, but get the 500.
Gets them to 500 all-time as a program.
Nate Johnson, top of the key. They work with Columbia. 3:08 left in this contest, an 11-point Titans lead. Lovejoy in some trouble. TJ Birch playing suffocating defense on that left wing. He angles to try and drive in. Pearson gets the double team. Jeter from downtown at the buzzer. Legend Jeter's second three-pointer. He had none going into this game. Now he's got 2 3 balls. 66-52.
Not just none on the season, none on the career. This is a guy who doesn't shoot from beyond the arc, and this time, or today here, has 2.
TJ Birch on the near side corner. They work around the Fat Hill at the top of the key. Britton Watts wants another three-pointer. He doesn't get it. Sparks tried to one-hand that board, couldn't get it. 2 Titans around him. It's now a 14-point Detroit Mercy lead. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to play. And fans are filing out, and this one might be pretty close to being all but over. A foul on Fat Hill.
Fans are starting to head for the exits, as I was just about to say. But just an unbelievable game here from the Titans to come into Worthen Arena. This is a home-and-home series where the road team, more than likely, if the result holds, will win both times. And we expected a lot closer of a matchup here in this ball game. However, it does not seem to be the case, as the Titans just ran away with this one here in the second half after it was a 5-point game at halftime.
Nate Johnson at the free throw line. He hits the first one. A 15-point advantage now for Detroit Mercy. And for these Ball State students, it has to be unfortunate. For a lot of these out-of-state students, as the second one misses, it'll be their last chance to see these Cardinals until after winter break. The next home game for Ball State, December 21st against Evansville. And top of the key, it's Jamari Hill who has it now. Mickey Pearson, they skip it around to him on the far side corner. Works inside the Sparks. Spin move up and under. Peyton Sparks makes it look easy. Now your score 67-54. Sparks now up to 8 points.
Sparks 8 points, 7 rebounds here on the day. He's had a really productive day on both the offensive and defensive end, but you'd like for him to do a little bit more when he's projected to be the MAC player of the year.
Poked away, Fat Hill, fast break. He goes up the tough take, lays it in, and the foul. Fat Hill with the opportunity for a 3-point play to make it a 10-point ball game with 1:37 left in this contest.
blink and you might miss it. A turn of events here as the fans have started to pile up. The Cardinals have gotten 5 straight points here. See if they can build up a little bit more of a run here. With a minute 37 left here. Free throw goes down from Hill. It'll be a 10-point ball game.
Yeah, don't hit the exits quite yet. Not yet. Fat Hill with the opportunity for a 3-point play on the year, 71% from the charity stripe. In comes Mason Jones for Peyton Sparks. The 5 right now for the Cardinals is Jones, Hill, Pearson, Birch, and Gorosito. To complete the 3-point play, Hill unable to do so. Pearson almost gets the offensive board, but Jared Larry picks it up. Cardinals playing a full court press. They end up letting go though, and Detroit Mercy gets past half court as they move left to right. Under 90 seconds to play in this contest, an 11-point Detroit Mercy lead. Double team on Lovejoy, triple team on Lovejoy, and TJ Birch fouls him. And talk about a disciplined young freshman, only his first foul of the contest.
Yeah, and he's played really well throughout this ball game here. I think what surprised me the most on that play, though, is that he was left out on an island for about 15 seconds in that play. I thought there, with it being an 11-point game with under 90 seconds to play, you're going to start with that double team right away, right out of the gate, and the Cardinals just kind of did not do so and let Bird trying to get the one-on-one steal for about 15 seconds before finally deciding to bring the double team and deciding to foul.
Orlando Lovejoy at the free throw line. His first free throw falls. He's at 17 points today, potentially 18. 5 for 12 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. If we're talking player of the game, I would have to give it to Orlando Lovejoy. And with all this Titans team has gone through, as he's able to hit the second to go up to 18 points, it's so impressive considering you lose Mac Mansell. We don't know how long, we don't know the severity of it, but from what we saw, that looked like it could have been season ending. Mickey Pearson, left wing 3, unable to bank it through, tried to get his long rebound. Pearson, the rebound leader for the Cardinals this year, averaging close to 8 a game. 13-point Titans lead, 1 minute to play, and at this point, you just kind of have to play keep away, and that's exactly what they do. Jared Larry on the far side handles it, guarded by Sparks on the perimeter, and now he goes back towards the paint. But now he guards Lovejoy. That could be a recipe for disaster. He gets pushed down by Sparks inside the paint, and Orlando Lovejoy has yet an opportunity at the free throw line as they're in the bonus plus to get up to 20 points, I should say. Orlando Lovejoy having definitely his best season, or his best, I'll even say that so far. He's beaten his career high in points. His career high going into that was 16 at Eastern Michigan. He had that against Michigan, and he beats that now. He's at 19 points as he hits the first free throw. Titans up by 14, 45 seconds left.
And what will be a 3rd straight loss for the Cardinals. Tournament play coming up for them. However, little mid-season tournament, they got Eastern Kentucky, Florida Tech, and Richmond on a 3 back-to-back schedule. That starts Monday.
Yep, he missed the second free throw, so not quite 20. Birch, left wing 3, unable to take us home on that, but Pearson gets the board, cleans up the mess inside. Fat Hill, tough take, up and in, off of the glass. It's a 12-point game, 30 seconds to play. Ball State brings a soft pressure, not looking to foul necessarily.
I think they're just going to let it dribble out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're doing. Shot clock is off. Cardinals still bring the double team. Gorosito forces the turnover, and a foul is called. It's a foul, and it looks like it's going the other way. That could have been Gorosito's 5th foul, but instead it's going on Jared Larry. With 16 seconds left, Detroit Mercy leads 70-58 over Ball State.
So after it looked like the Cardinals initially were just going to let him dribble it out, not to be the case right there, as Gorosito now will be going to the foul line after forcing a steal. Tough road ahead for the Detroit Mercy Titans. They got Wake Forest next, that coming up on Saturday. Some power conference play, I should say, excuse me. Then they got Tulsa, Rhode Island, in a game I think some guys on that team are really looking forward to. That matchup against Eastern Michigan.
Oh yeah, you know it. Legend Jeter and Orlando Lovejoy both come from Eastern Michigan. Gorosito gets his first free throw to fall, and substitutions come in for the Titans, and same with the Cardinals. Mason Jones enters the game for Peyton Sparks. So does TJ Nadeau and Ryan Colombe for Detroit Mercy. 16 seconds left. Gorosito to make it a 10-point game with 16 seconds to play. And he is unable to do so. Rebound off of the leg. Looks like of Nadeau. Nope, it's going the other way. 14 seconds left. Cardinals cannot catch a break. but they still bring the full court press, still fighting with every ounce they have left. They go back to midcourt to Lovejoy, and I think they're just going to let him dribble it out. 5 seconds remaining, and that will do it here from Worthen Arena. The Detroit Mercy Titans, their best 5-game start since 2017. They take down Ball State 70-59.
And Detroit Mercy, who came into this game as 11-point underdogs, come in and win it by 11. A statement here for the Titans here at Worthen Arena. They go to 500 all-time in program history, 1,906 and 1,906. And as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, their best start 3-2 since 2017.
David takes down Goliath and stuns this Ball State crowd, 70-59. And I know I've talked about it quite a bit. I just have to say how impressed I am with Detroit Mercy. You lose your best scorer, that might be a season-ending injury, and then you go out and you fight like this against a team that you're not supposed to be, and look at them rush towards the locker room. They are excited. It's going to be a party in that locker room, but at the same time, I'm sure they're still thinking of their brother that they lost on the court out there. I'm sure Mac was in the locker room or wherever he was at being stretchered off. I'm sure Mac was watching and he had a grin on his face.
Yeah, and his teammates really got the job done for him. There was an early injury in losing their best scorer. It didn't just happen where they just lost their best player at some point in the ball. They lost him very early on in that ball game, and that easily could have been a turning point in the ball game where they were up early on and they lose their best player and it turns into a different ball game. However, that was not the case. His teammates rallied around him, and just a depth performance from everyone around, and that's what really led to the performance here. No one really had an overpowering performance. No one really obviously a lot of impressive performances, but no one really stood out as far as scoring for Detroit Mercy. It all kind of spread it out evenly, and as a result, they got the job done here today by a score of 70-59.
And I would say if there was one player that did stick out scoring-wise for Detroit Mercy, I'd have to give that to Orlando Lovejoy. Final stat line, 19 points, 5 of 12 from the field, 9 of 10 from the charity stripe, 7 boards, 5 dish outs, 1 steal. But also, he played 38 minutes. He only was on the bench for 2 minutes. I mean, that's just absurd. Orlando Lovejoy, an absolute workhorse.
Yeah, I mean, this was a game where the Cardinals had way more free throws than the Detroit Mercy team. They just couldn't capitalize on this opportunity. They had 13 more free throws than Detroit Mercy. If you make 11 out of those 13, it's a different game. The other impact, though, however, is Detroit Mercy. They did what they did best. Despite the fact they have a little bit of a smaller lineup, they were able to get rebounds. They out-rebounded the Cardinals by 10 here today, and that's just what they do best all year, and that's been why they've been off to such a successful start early on.
And it looks like that's going to do it for us here from Worthen Arena. Final score, Detroit Mercy 70, Ball State 59. Sam, anything left to say to the great people of Muncie?
Thank you for tuning in here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you back here watching another Worthen broadcast real soon.
I'm Roen Elbert. That's Sam Egan. Good night, Muncie.